they light the flame. Cigars in hand, never playing tame. Pour the whiskey, let it burn real slow. On the Real Smoke Podcast, the stories flow. Guess they're rolling with a spark in their eyes, talking life's truths and throwing lies. Laughter crackles like a fire alive. Cuba to Kentucky, they always thrive. Real smoke rises in the air tonight. Whiskey's bold, they keep it tight. Stories spark like a flaming glow. Mick and Charles stealing the show.
Welcome to the Real Smoke Podcast with your hosts, Mick and Charles, the podcast that's all about real people, real cigars, and real smoke. Coming to you live from the Real Smoke Virtual Cigar Lounge, bringing you the best of cigars, whiskey, and all the good times in between. It's more than just a podcast, it's a community of cigar lovers. So grab your favorite smoke, pour a drink, and join us as we dive into all things cigars, whiskey, and just having a damn good time. This is the Real Smoke Podcast.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 47 of the Real Smoke Podcast. We are your hosts. That fella over there is Mick. I'm Charles. But before we kick things off tonight, we need to say a special hi to our brothers over at the Cigar Vault in Oakdale.
Hey guys, Norm with the Cigar Vault Oakdale. We're talking about the Real Smoke 5-pack for September. Previous video, we talked about one of the cigars in that pack. Today, we're bringing you another banger. This is the Yorktown Fleet from Stolen Throne. It is the box press Toro. This cigar has an amazing balance of strength and flavor. You can smoke this mid-afternoon. You can smoke it in the evening. I personally prefer to pair it with a nice double espresso. You can pair it with whatever you'd like because it stands up on its own. This is an absolute banger from Lee Marsh. You don't want to miss it. The Real Smoke 5-pack, this thing is $55. You can use your Real Smoke discount code, save an additional 10%. At $55, this is already discounted 10% roughly. With that additional 10%, you're almost getting this entire pack for 20% off. Take advantage of it. Support Mick and support Charles. By supporting them, you support us. We are eternally grateful for the Real Smoke family. We thank you guys very much.
Wow. Did he just nail everything? Wait, he's in landscape.
He is.
He has a microphone.
He said
spoke loud.
The right code.
He said the right
Charles,
code.
not Charlie.
And he called me Charles.
Wow. Added bonus points. Added bonus. Did the Yorktown is a good segue into our show tonight. So I'm impressed. I am impressed.
Wait.
Yeah.
We gotta hand it to him. Dang, you nailed it that time. What's up, Mick?
Man, not much. Happy Thursday. Glad to be back here and have a good cigar, a couple drinks, and
there's those geese.
Marsh. That fucking geese. Here we go.
There's the geese. We've been waiting all year for them.
They're all back, man. I'll be muting quite a bit tonight, I would imagine, but. Yeah, so
all right, so any of our listeners right now, just so you know, if you are brand new to the Real Smoke Podcast, this is the time of the year that those lovely geese get to invade Mick's property. So every time you hear the geese tonight, you must put in the chat fucking geese.
That's right.
And that's just to let Mick know that you can hear the geese, and we love it. So anyways,
directly after that.
Well, see, the first thing on my list was to talk about the 5-pack, but I don't need to talk about the 5-pack anymore because he just nailed it. Couldn't have done any better.
I don't think we need to talk about it, but I will say there's still a few left, and I'm not sure how. I told Norm I'm probably just going to buy the rest of them whenever the time comes because they're too good of a 5-pack not to have in your humidor. So if you're not taking advantage of
that Yorktown Fleet's great. Have you had that one?
I hate to admit this. That's the only one I haven't had out of his line.
Oh my gosh.
The only one I haven't had.
I would buy the entire pack just to try that one if I'd never tried it before.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it a lot.
I don't understand why I've never picked that one up, but I always get drawn in by Three Kingdoms or Crook of the Crown. And now I have this one.
Yeah.
So
you can't beat the Crook.
Oh, I know. I love that. But yeah, we'll get into that a little bit later. Are
we already talking about that?
We're already talking. we're a little excited about our guest tonight. Let's talk about
That wasn't
sports.
creepy at all. That was not creepy at all.
I'm sorry, I'm creepy sometimes.
You really got you got way too excited.
I did.
Calm down.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Somebody's been taking his blue chews today. Calm down.
I think I'm good.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So let's start off with a little sports. How about
No.
those Falcons?
No. Wait. Falcons? No, I don't want to talk about the Falcons. I don't want to. No.
How long did we message the other night about how much our coach is a piece of garbage? And
I knew that you were frustrated when I sent you a message about it and you did not respond back. You still haven't responded back, and that's been since Sunday. So it was like, okay, yeah, he's a little upset.
I again went to
but
the
you're talking
Ale House.
See, you're split between Atlanta and Philly. I'm Atlanta all the way.
Yeah.
I'm just heartbroken.
Yeah, the Braves did suck this year, and the Falcons absolutely suck. So I think it all starts with getting a new head coach, but for the Falcons. But
I think we need an entire new coaching line.
Penix is not going to be anything. It's just horrible. It's terrible.
I think we need a new head coach. I think we need a new special teams coach. I think we need a new offense coach. I think Arthur Blanks needs to go and clean house. And I don't like this whole idea of getting rid of one coach and then having half the team still supported by the same regime that they were. Go in there, clean house, go hire a new head coach and tell the head coach, bring who you need to win.
Absolutely.
And get all new people in there.
I don't know if you saw. I think we're going way down a rabbit hole here, but I believe the wide receiver coach got fired this week, and I'm like, yeah, it was the wide receiver's fault that Penix threw it right to the other fucking team 4 times. Like, stop it. Anyway, I'm done with that. I just figured I'd start us off being angry. So let's
you chose violence tonight, didn't you?
I did.
Gosh. Man,
back in. So I know we kind of talked to Lee in the green room about this, but Tuesday night, man, are you excited for Tuesday night?
I am, and I'm not, because
what we got going on there. We'll give a little promo for that because we're gonna be.
Yeah, I'll let you do that here in a second. But yeah, I am excited just to try what's about to happen. But this is, by the way, it's raining. Just letting you know. You got geese, I've got rain. It's Thursday night. It's raining in East Tennessee. Yay. So, anyways, we're invading. Real Smoke is invading Cigar Dudes.
Yeah, I kind of.
But it's an ish centered episode. We're gonna be on there all night. I'm just saying.
3 cigars with Ish at the helm. Love you to death, Ish, but man, it's gonna be a long effing night. Fuck you, geese.
So, guys, if you don't know, Cigar Dudes, Ish is one of them. And if you didn't hear on the podcast that we did with them a couple of weeks ago, Ish put together, asked AI to create a blend for a cigar. So he went down to the factory and he blended that cigar. Then he blended a secondary cigar and to see if he could improve upon the AI's blend. And then he blended a random cigar that's his. So next Tuesday, we are going to be on the Cigar Dudes podcast. We'll be streaming from our Facebook page as well as our YouTube page. So you can catch all the information over here on our channel as well. But we're going to be smoking 3 cigars at a time. It was asked to drink whiskey or wine with it. If you know how long those episodes go, and I'm supposed to be drinking whiskey or wine that entire night, no, can't do it. So they let me decide that I could drink some coffee. So my lovely wife will be making me coffee for the night.
Yeah, it was
I've got a little bit of whiskey right here, and we're going to get into what kind of whiskey we are drinking. But I'm not drinking whiskey for 4 freaking hours.
Yeah, that's rough to do on the weekend, let alone on a Tuesday night. But I am excited about it. It's going to be probably a long show, but what a cool experience. And I know Randy-ish, I know I kind of bullied us in on that one because I was like, we have to do this. You have to let us in. Well, they left us in. So thank you. We're excited about it. I did not want to miss that. It's going to be such a cool opportunity. So we appreciate you.
Well, see, it's one thing for us to be on Thursday night. I love the fact that we're on Thursday night. I would actually prefer if we were on Friday night, but with my travel schedules, it would be too hard. But I get all of my work except for maybe 5% done, my day work, because I usually go in at 7:30 in the morning. I don't get off till 7, 8 o'clock at night. So I get all of my day work done Monday through Wednesday, Thursday early-ish. So that way, because I know it's going to be a late night on Thursday, I'm probably going to be drinking on Thursday. All I have to do is get up, take the kid to school. I can go back home and chill the rest of the day until I got to go in that night. This happening on a Tuesday, dear God.
Yeah, it's gonna be a big night, but I'm super excited and honored to be a part of it. So it's gonna be fun.
Oh yeah, I absolutely love that we were able to be a part of it. So, let's talk about a drawing. We do have a special drawing that we're giving away tonight.
We are on the exact same page as always. I was just gonna say that was my last thing on my little radar here was tonight we are doing our 5,000 followers again. That's our second time to hit 5,000 on Instagram before we lost the first one with a boofy incident. And our 1 year anniversary, we are doing a special giveaway out of our humidors. I am gonna kill some fucking geese tonight. So the first we're gonna draw. First place is gonna be 10 cigars and 10 cigars and your choice of a t-shirt off of our merch store. And second place is going to be 5 cigars and a custom sticker pack. And so there's 2 winners on that, plus our 2 normal Cigar Vault giveaways. But for everybody, if you did not already do this, you got to tag 3 people in that post. Subscribe on YouTube. And there's also a few people you had to follow there. It says it all in the post.
Guys, go check out that post. Make sure you go check that out. Make sure you're subscribed to us on YouTube. The way we're going to do this one, because we don't have enough time to do this live, we are going to draw 5 names for this one. And it's going to go in order. So the first name that we draw, that's going to be for the first prize. If they meet all the requirements, great. If they don't, we'll move to the second person. The first 2 that we get that meets all the requirements, we'll get the first and second one. We will announce that next week, not next week on the show. If we can get it all verified by the night after the podcast, we'll announce it then. But we're going to draw 5 names just so we have the right amount, and we'll let everybody know. Name number 1, first chance is so-and-so. Second chance is so-and-so. And we'll go through it and just make sure that you meet all the requirements, because that's going to be our job, is to make sure that you meet all the requirements to do this. Biggest one, subscribe to us on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube and all the shits. So go do that one. So I will say that, and no Mick's trying to cover up all the geese, but if you saw the video that I posted on there, I did some new lighting. I don't know if it looks good. I don't know if it looks bad. If you're in the comments, let us know. Does it look good? Does it look bad? Do I look too washed out? Does the whole thing work? Does it not? Who cares? But let us know. I mean, all it is, time, effort, and money. I mean, come on. Let a brother know.
I think it looked like Back to the Future. It's like you're time warping or something. I really do like it. Looks good.
See, I will say, when we first started talking about stuff for podcast, if you notice, a lot of our early stuff is bright blue, bright purple, bright green. That's me. I love those colors, and that's what's behind me is bright blue, like bright purple. So, anyways, you ready to get into the cigar and the guest?
I'd love to.
All right. So the tonight's cigar is brought to you by our brother, our TriStar brother over at 13 Knives.
Hey boys and girls, I wanted to read you a story about the 3 little cutters. Once upon a time there were 3 little cutters. Daddy Cutter, Mama Cutter, and Badass Bulldog Cutter. And Daddy Cutter came out in 2020, and some people thought it looked too much like other cutters. A year later, Mama Cutter came out, and some people thought it looked like Daddy Cutter. Given the times, oh well, let's be original. So in late 22, Badass Bulldog Cutter was born. Badass Bulldog Cutter is a cleaver style cutter. with a bottle opener made from 1095 high carbon steel that I get right here in the US of A with US sourced materials. And those who have bought a badass Bulldog cutter have lived happily ever after. So quit looking for your glass slipper and buy yourself a Bulldog cutter.
Go check out Robert over at 13 Knives. You cannot ask for a better cigar knife, period. Trust me. I don't care who says that the other company is better. Go check this one out. You will not regret it. So tonight's cigar is, go ahead, Mick.
Tonight's cigar is the Stolen Throne Castle 919. Freaking geese. Wrapper, Ecuadorian Habano. Binder, Nicaraguan. Filler, Nicaraguan, Peru. Price is right around $11. And again, that's brought to you by 13 Knives.
Nice. Well, before we bring on our guest tonight, our guest is brought to you by our family over at Destination Cigar Lounge and Allegory Cigars. Step into the world of cigars like never before at Destination Cigar Lounge, home of the exclusive Allegory Cigar Blend. Whether you are kicking back at Governor's Crossing in Sevierville, Tennessee, or savoring the vibes at New River in Beckley, West Virginia, or soaking up the rich aroma at Almost Havana in Hurricane, West Virginia, every visit is an adventure. From top-tier cigars to expert recommendations and a laid-back atmosphere, it's the perfect place to relax, connect, and enjoy the craft. If you are looking for bold and unforgettable flavors, escape to the world of Allegory Cigars. Kick back with the rich Mexican San Andreas dividend, enjoy the smooth intrigue of the censored Sumatra, or fire up the bold and flavorful Escape Habano. For more information, you can follow them on Instagram at destination_cigars, or you can explore more by visiting them online at destinationcigarlounge.com, or take a journey to one of their 3 locations in West Virginia and Tennessee. No matter where your cigar journey takes you, every blend is an experience worth savoring. Where the road ends, the perfect smoke begins at Destination Cigars. So huge thanks to Destination Cigars. And we can bring on our guest. Our guest is none other than the one, the only Lee Marsh from Stolen Throne Cigars. Lee, make sure you turn off your mic before you jump on. That way we can hear your wonderful face.
Hear my wonderful face. Nice. What's up, guys?
What's up, brother?
What's up, man?
Aboard, man?
I gotta say something. You guys were way too easy on Norm. He fucked up a bunch of stuff. That's a box press torpedo, and he said
Yes.
double espresso. What's an espresso?
I don't know what an espresso is. Maybe that's the espresso's. Maybe that's the espresso's long lost wife or something.
Maybe.
That's how you say it in Pittsburgh, I guess.
Down here in Pittsburgh.
So I'm glad you were able to give him a hard time. So we will make sure, because he always listens to this the next day. So hopefully he gets, you can.
Oh, he'll hear it.
Yeah. Oh, great. So we are smoking something fairly new from you. So we are smoking the Castle 919. Let us know a little bit about that cigar.
Yeah, so the 919 is our newest regular production cigar that we released this year at PCA. Kind of a cool story with that cigar. My grandfather has been gone 10 years now. And so 919 is actually my childhood address in Baltimore. And someone else pointed out this is like the year of Baltimore for Stolen Throne Cigars. Every year is the year of Baltimore and Stolen Throne Cigars. I'm from Baltimore. But we did the Preakness, of course, and then we did the Castle 919 with the purple and black and obviously the Ravens colors, right? So yeah, so it's that one touches a little bit close to home for our newest regular production release. So great cigar, super different. We try to switch it up every time we drop something to keep everyone guessing and kind of create new experiences for the smokers. So it's been extremely well received, and we're very lucky with the support and the follow through we get from the fans.
Yeah, I'll say at least you picked a team that's a different bird. That's not the Falcons. So you've at least had some highlights in your over the course of your life. But
we have. It's been tough the last couple weeks, but
yeah,
it's okay. It's okay. A lot of
It's
football
been
to be
tough
played.
the last couple of years.
for Falcons fans, it's been tough since I was like fucking 7. So Yeah, it's
Yeah, the Super Bowl was not good. It's been not good.
We don't talk
one of the
about
worst.
that.
One of the worst
Yeah.
The
sporting
first
days of my
rule of
life.
Fight Club is we don't talk about Fight Club.
No doubt.
Yeah.
I respect it.
On to the next subject.
Moving on.
Moving on. So, growing up in Baltimore, let's talk about that one. So, you grew up in Baltimore. What was it like living in Baltimore as a young one?
I mean, I loved it, right? But like, when you're young and you're growing up, everything's a small world, right? So you don't realize like the reputation certain cities have until you grow up and move away. Um, I get the question a lot, like, how real was The Wire? Pretty real. Like, I mean, yeah, that is what it is. No, but it's a cool blue collar working town, man. Always has been, always will be. Big into sports. Hardworking folks. It's always going to be home, right? I've been gone for 10+ years now, but it's always home. My grandmother still lives there in 919, actually. Um, so yeah, it's always going to be home for me for sure.
So, what were some of the fond memories that you have from growing up in Baltimore?
A big sports town, man. I'm a big sports guy. Had a career, had a
Really?
football career, and all that stuff. It's a massive sports town. Football and baseball forever. Before we got the the Ravens in '96, it was a little tough. But big Orioles fan, big Ravens fan growing up my entire life. So uh, that really consumed a good bit of like my life, sports. Right, the majority of my younger years was all sports related. Keeping me out of trouble for the most part. Right. Uh,
Yeah,
but yeah, I mean that was pretty much it in
I remember
reality.
you. I remember you saying, I think on the Penelope episode, you played sports growing up, correct?
Yeah, I played football all the way through college.
That's what I
Um,
thought.
I what's that?
I thought that was football that you said you played the whole
Yeah,
way up through college. So yeah, tell us a
yeah,
little bit about that.
yeah. I mean, it was just one of those things, dude. I always tell people that I got a college education in spite of myself. I just wasn't done playing football yet, and somebody else was going to let me continue to play. I just had to go to school to do it, so it worked out. You know, but it's one of those things where I think that one of the big things that gets kind of overlooked is how important and how valuable like organized sports are to growth and development, right? You learn a lot of life lessons and things that you carry through your life really from playing, organized sports for so long. I figured I've been playing football since I was shit, man, like 5 years old. I played all the way up into my 20s, right? So like the majority of my life, really. And you do it teaches you a lot about yourself and a lot about how to operate with others. So it's extremely valuable. And, that, and
100%.
that's all sport, and that's all sports too, right? But football for me was the big one.
I played the other football forever, soccer, and
Nice.
yeah, I played up into college as well, and I coach now for like 15 years. Now that I moved down here, I don't, but I could not agree more, man. It's all about the lessons learned and the camaraderie and learning how to deal with people, and it's just I
Absolutely,
think
man.
the life lessons are really the main part of what needs to come out of organized sports.
Absolutely. It's massive. Time management, teamwork, dealing with adversity, learning to be accountable, all those things, right? Like
100%.
it's
You get out of it
massive.
what you put in. So just like
Exactly.
anything else.
Exactly.
So, how long did you live in Baltimore before you moved away?
Oh man, my whole life. I didn't move. I didn't leave
Okay.
Baltimore. I didn't leave Baltimore until I went to undergrad, and then when I graduated
Where'd you
from
go?
college, Washington Jefferson College, a school in
Okay.
Pittsburgh, actually. Um, and then after that, I went back for a little bit, lived in Europe for a while, then came home, and then eventually I moved down here to Virginia, and the rest, as they say, is history. I moved down here in about 2014 or so. And then obviously later we started Stolen Throne Cigars here as well. And that's where we're headquartered. We're here in Yorktown, Virginia right now.
Did Charles freeze?
Yeah, did
Or
something
did I
happen?
freeze?
Like, I don't know. You
I
guys
thought he
are
was just doing
teasing me.
like the I thought he
Yeah,
was
no
just
one's
doing
moving,
the
like miming.
yeah,
Miming.
yeah.
He's so
Well,
captivated.
I honestly didn't know you guys were in Virginia now. So I mean, we're kind of jumping around a little bit here, but that makes sense on the Yorktown fleet. Then that completely ties that part of it up.
Yeah, I mean, we actually did that. So we released that cigar as we moved over to moved our headquarters here to Yorktown. So that it all played right, and obviously it's a big military town and part of the state. In reality, like Hampton Roads is about 95% military, and the majority of the guys here, like Phil and Sean, who just dapped me up while he was leaving. He's our head of distribution. He's a retired Navy captain, and Phil is a retired lieutenant colonel in the Air Force. So
Wow.
big, obviously big military community here.
Yeah, no doubt.
So I want to actually. You said you lived in Europe for a little while. What took you to Europe, and where'd you go?
I was a contractor for a while and did some like exchange programs, studying abroad, and like some contractor work. I lived in Ireland, and I spent some time in the Middle East in like Bahrain and Abu Dhabi and stuff like that, and Dubai before coming home.
All right. So you said contractor. So are you talking military or are you talking construction?
Military and government, yeah.
All right. So, did you serve?
I did not serve in the military. No.
Okay. That's something I never heard from any other podcast that you did. You went over to Europe. So what was it like being over in Ireland?
It was fucking awesome.
Because that is my bucket list place to go.
You should.
I want to try that. My relatives came over here in late 1800s from Ireland. We actually got where they left, what town they left on the boat, and what town, and when they arrived on Ella. I cannot remember right now. I would have to look at my phone.
We're not prepared for a follow-up question.
No, we was not. But I found the information where they arrived at Ellis Island. So
that's awesome, man. Yeah, dude. Ireland is great. I always tell people, like, I grew up with my grandparents, and I always tell everyone, if my grandparents weren't still alive, I would have never came back. Like, I loved it. Ireland was fucking great.
Yeah, that's on my so probably in 2 or 3 years for our 30th wedding anniversary, me and the wife, we're gonna actually do Ireland. We got it all planned out, and long as I got the savings stash back for it, that's definitely our next big trip. So
yeah, hit me up, man. I'll give you some pointers where to go. I lived in Cork. Yeah.
Okay. My goal is to, since I'm a big soccer guy, I want to fly into Europe and see a Premier League game at the end of that season, and then take the train up to Ireland, and then spend like 3-4 days in Ireland, and then probably train back out to fly back. So it's gonna be like a 10-12 day trip. So I'll definitely hit you up, man.
It's super difficult to get to a Premier League game. I was able to pull it off, but it's not an easy feat. It's not like here where there's like StubHub and all that shit. Like it's very difficult to get tickets. I was able to. I'm an Arsenal fan, so I was able to get to the Emirates, but it's not easy. So I would plan that super far in advance.
You got to know a guy that knows a guy that knows a guy.
Yeah, I mean, in reality, like your best case is like shoot your shot, like go to a pub that's close and try to talk to people that might have extra tickets. Like that's, I mean, in reality, like it's super difficult. It is such a weird, it's a completely different concept over there. It's like, it's not like here, like, I'm not going to make this game. Like no one fucking misses the games.
Yeah,
it is.
Absolutely.
And I try to explain that to people that like don't grasp the concept of how big soccer is. Right. And it's a way of life. Like we think
100%.
that we're really big into football here, but it's not even fucking close. It's not even close.
No, absolutely. Yeah, it is definitely a part of the people's lives, and you're born into it. You know, like it's the next generation of whatever fans, and it's just
there's no picking your club. Your club is
branded on you when you're born. Yeah,
that's right.
Exactly.
That's right.
I actually wanted to ask you about your time in Pittsburgh. So, what were some of your memories from Pittsburgh, man? Because I'm a Pennsylvania guy. I went to Pittsburgh at least 5-6 times a year, usually for Pirates. Well, I went and saw the Phillies play in Pittsburgh, but I am a big Penguins fan. Big Penguins fan. So I'd go out there a lot for Penguins games at least twice a year. And so, what were some of the places you hit, man? What did you like out there?
Oh man, I did your normal knucklehead stuff, South Side and all that kind of stuff. In reality, like Pittsburgh with college and being in Pittsburgh, that's where I picked up hockey. Like everyone thinks because like the Capitals of DC, but in reality, like Baltimore isn't a hockey town. Like no one gives a shit about the Capitals in Baltimore, right? So
Yep.
it wasn't until I moved to Pittsburgh where you started to get in kind of ingrained, and I loved it. I used to go to, console and watch the Penguins and stuff like that. So eat it Permani sandwiches. Fuck
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
dude.
Oh, that's what I love
Permanis.
about
The
it.
leaf, the
Absolutely.
leaf and bean, of course. Island Jim's
Oh yeah.
spot in the strip. Yeah, I mean, I always tell people I hated living there, but it's a cool place to visit. Like,
It is.
I did not like living there at all.
Yeah, it is a weird
It's
city, but
just,
it's blue
it's
collar,
just
man.
so.
It's a lot like,
It
you know,
is. It is a lot like Baltimore. Yeah,
yep,
it's blue collar in that regard, but it's so fucking hard to get around, man.
it is,
It's
man.
so hard.
The hill
It's
section, the
so.
warehouse district, it is crazy.
It's so fucking hard to get around there. It's terrible. But yeah, I mean, it is a very cool place to visit. And they have like a nice food scene now, which they didn't have when I was there. But yeah, it's a cool, like you said, a hardworking blue collar town, big sports town. It's a fun place to be for sure.
Yeah, it's I definitely miss it. A buddy of mine, he has box seats every year for the Penguins Rangers games because he's a PPG. He has two
Oh,
auto body
nice.
shops, so he's big on PPG. So they have a box whenever he wants it, basically out there. So he'd take me out every year because he's a Rangers fan. And man, my first experience at a all inclusive event like that at a sporting event, I don't remember half the fucking game. Like it was stupid because they just keep throwing drinks at you, and there's all kinds of food there. And it's the greatest time ever because you're in a box and yeah, that day kind of got away from me and the wife a little bit, but it's such a cool time, man. We love that city, and I'd say the way I follow the Penguins is as close as I'll ever know to how someone like we said with European that follows the Premier League because I don't
Yeah.
miss a Penguins. I don't miss a Penguins game. It's something that's definitely a part of me. So I mean, it's really rough right now because they suck right now, but I still don't miss a game. So it's all part of
There
being
you
a
go.
fan.
That's what counts, though, man. I used to always, dude. Yeah, I mean, that's what used to piss me off about the folks that come back around on the Orioles, right? It's the hard years that make it worth it.
100%.
You earn those playoff runs, So like when people all of a sudden like pick them up, you're like, the fuck. So yeah, but it is. You got to stick with the hard
100%.
years, man. The grind
I
is.
mean, you're talking to Falcons fans and Braves fans right now. I mean, you can't get any more harder than those two teams right now.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. I mean, the Orioles had a pretty disappointing season, so we can commiserate a little bit, but
Oh yeah,
yeah,
I went onto my phone and accessed my office computer. So my relative arrived in New York on November 10th, 1848. He left. He was on the ship, the Adeline Khan, had 80 passengers on it. He was in steerage, which means he was at the bottom of the fucking boat.
that's right.
He left Drogheda, Drogheda. Drogheda.
I think that's Dungarvan actually,
Yeah.
which
Okay.
is outside of Waterford.
Yeah, I looked at it on the map when I first started looking at it. It's a port city. Know nothing about it. Don't know how to pronounce it. But yeah, that's on the desktop of my office computer. So I went in there. It's like I know I've got this stuff connected. So I went in there and found it. So yeah,
That's awesome, man.
1848. All right, so let's go into how you got involved or how you started Stolen Throne. So we're in college. I don't know how far out of college you were, but what brought you into the idea of I want to do a cigar line or I want to do a brand?
I'm dumb. No. I mean, it was.
That is the
it was-
most honest answer we've ever heard. I'm just saying.
It was years after college, man. It was years. It was one of those things, man. Like I've been smoking cigars since I was around 15 years old, right? So I'm 37, and you know, when I got out and started working and started traveling, I spent a lot of my downtime in cigar lounges like Leaf and Bean and all these other places, and you just start to meet people. And like, I remember going to, like, Dominican on a whim and just like walking through a tour and like checking out fields and factories and stuff. And I fell in love with it. And I don't even think I really grasped it like subconsciously how much I was really into it. Um,
So
and it
what got you
just,
going? What got you going to the Dominican just to go on a tour? Was you hanging out in a lounge and people were like, "Hey, we're going down there," or was you seriously like, "I just for shits and giggles want to do this"?
yeah, I was just traveling. I was like, oh, that seems fucking cool. Let's go see what this is about, you know?
Nice.
And so yeah, like that it kept picking up steam. I kept doing like without like consciously thinking about it, I just kept doing more and more shit like that. Like going places, seeing things, going on like random trips to Nicaragua or, and so it just kept building and building. And then as I really got deeper into the boutique side of things, there just started to be these things that I started noticing, like, man, if I made cigars, I would do this differently, or I would do that differently, or you know what I mean? Stupid shit we say when we have no idea what we're talking about. And then that grows into like, oh, well, one day I'm gonna own my own brand, or like just like you and your buddies, like we're gonna buy that bar one day, you know? And it's one of those situations where it's like it just kept growing and growing and growing, and like the fire kept burning, no pun intended. And then I finally got to a point where I'm like, man, I'm getting older, so it's like time to shit or get off the pot, Like I'm either gonna do this or I'm not. Um, and then I always say there's no such thing as halfway pregnant. So you're either in or you're out. So I committed to it, started traveling around and with like intent to learn and kind of understand and see the processes from soup to nuts, right? And that kept growing and growing and growing. And then finally it's like, all right, it's time to kind of push forward and make this happen. So
So
that
what
was
was that?
probably like,
What was that thing that got you to finally say, "I'm going to do my own line"? What kicked you in the ass and said, "Okay, let's do it"? Was
well,
it
it was
what
like,
did you have somebody in your ear saying, "Hey, I support you. I got this," or was it just your own drive that said, "Fuck it, I'm going to do it"?
it was like my own drive in reality. Like it was one of those things where I just become so fascinated, and I don't believe in wasted efforts. So I was like spending all this time like learning and traveling and looking at stuff and kind of like seeing these factories, seeing these farms, talking to people at lounges, just collecting knowledge, being a sponge, right? And so I was like, it's time to try to put my best foot forward here. And for that, it's like, it's a funny thing because like to a lot of people, like Stolen Throne came out of nowhere. And I guess that's true from a market standpoint, like being on the market. But in reality, there was like 5 or 6 years before that where I was just learning and just kind of seeing things and going on tours and like checking out factories and just soaking up any knowledge someone would give me about the processes and the whole nature of it, the technical aspects and just looking and watching marketing, seeing how people were bringing things to fruition, what worked, what didn't work, and just kind of soaking that up.
So
And
let's talk about that journey because I mean, there's a lot of brands that we talk to that talk about, "Hey, I fell into this factory," or "this just happened to happen." And it always, nothing is ever by, happen circumstance. There's work that's behind it. So what was the journey like between going, whether it was to the DR or to wherever? You're looking for a factory, you're looking for, people to help mentor you into what you're wanting to do. So what was that journey like?
I mean, for me, it was like one of those things where it's like, I always joke and say it's like one of those like the definition of porn. I can't describe it, but I know it when I see it, right? And it's like you start getting into things and you start realizing like, okay, I know a fraction of what the majority of these legacies and all this stuff know. So like, what is the best way to move forward, right? So it's like, okay, well, I'm going to start with my palate. What do I like to smoke? What do I do? And like, how do I operate? And can I find a place that's going to let me control X, Y, and Z? I didn't want to be these, like, I just fell into this kind of thing person, right? I didn't want to be someone that's like, oh, give me a couple blends. I'll pick one. We'll put a label on it, right? Like that. that just wasn't for me. There's a lot of people that do that. There's nothing wrong with that. That's their choice, right? But for me, I didn't want any like excuses or safety nets. I wanted it to be like I could live with the fact that if I did everything I possibly could and it didn't work out, then it was on me. I didn't want excuses and I could live with that. Right. And so you'd be surprised at like how many people want to take, a gringo's money, but they don't really want them involved with the process. Right. And so it's not that easy to find those people that are going to let you control the creative aspects, do everything that you want to do the way you want to do it. Right. And it still be the same cigar that you put to fruition. Right. Because a lot of times what'll happen is what you blend is not end up what you get when that shipment rolls in. Right. And unfortunately, I've seen it 1,000 times where people they don't have the wherewithal to realize that that's what's happening. So um, there was very few people that were willing to do that, right? And so it was actually Island Jim that said, like, you need to meet Noel. These two are like simpatico, and like you guys are on the same wavelength. So I had one conversation with Noel, and then basically he was like, "Yeah, sounds good." And I was like,
So
"Okay, I'll see you tomorrow."
was he the first factory that you went with? I mean, was that the first one you talked with, or was he, down the
No,
line?
he wasn't the first one. I would say probably there was like a handful, right? There's probably three or four, that we talked to. And but him and I really hit it off. Like we were right at the right point in time. He was getting ready he wasn't really on the market. He was doing some stuff for other people, but in reality, like he was planning the comeback of the Rojas line and stuff like that. So it really just kind of all came to fruition at the same time.
So what was that meeting like? I mean, you're meeting Noel Rojas. So I mean, I will say that he at that time he was probably either as unknown or just getting ready to be known again. What was the
Yeah, I
meeting
mean,
like between you guys?
so for guys like me, I knew who he was from Sabor de Esteli and Guayacan and some other stuff he had done for some other boutique brands, right? So I was
Right.
aware of what he had done, right? And we just clicked, man. It's hard to explain. Like when sometimes you just have these interactions with people that like, I don't know, you just kind of hit it off, which is weird for me to say. Anyone that knows me says that's not my norm. But yeah, I mean, we just hit it off. And then I think once he saw how serious I was, it kind of cemented that relationship. And man, that was like 7, 8 years ago now, and now we have the two factories and all these cigars we've made and sold since then, both him and myself, so it's it's cool, man. It's almost serendipitous in reality, just the way that these things come to fruition.
Yeah, it seems like a good, I'd say, half of the interviews we've done now, and this is episode 47. Half the interviews we've done has been like the person they went through trying to get what they were looking for personally out of a blend or out of a factory, and they met the right person that was on the same wavelength, that was on the same, ready for that moment to either help you create something, or they had availability. Like it just, things happen for a reason, and it seems like yours was more of the same. That
Ye-
it just all came
yeah,
together.
and in reality, we just had this connection and this relationship that we still have today, where it's just like he was teaching me things and kind of educating me, and then very early on, he just kind of let me run wild, just said, "Do what you want to do. We'll go figure it out." Right. So kind of let me learn little on the job training. Right. So yeah, and I mean, it just kind of, you're right. It just kind of came right place, right time kind of scenario.
And a follow up to that, so tell us about your process. So like you said, you went to Nicaragua, DR a few times, and you kind of knew what you were looking for. And I know you've said in past interviews and stuff that you want each cigar to stand on its own, be able to stand on its own as that part of the line. So like when you go in, do you have something in mind, or do you let the cigar kind of speak to you, or is that something that's just all part of the process?
Yeah, I mean, it's just part of the process. It kind of speaks to me, man. I try not to be myopic, right? I've never created a cigar where I was like, it has to be this, right? It's more about the tobacco, where the tobacco is in maturity, what we have coming in from the crops, what we have available, and just playing with it and seeing how it works, right? And playing with ratios and kind of building from the filler out. And so I never try to create this idea of like I'm going in to make a Maduro or I'm going in to make a Habano. And the reality is because I'm like I think deep down I'm so afraid of opportunity costs, right? Like what am I missing out on because I've decided just to do this? And now like my process is so elongated. I don't think people realize. That's why I always tell people I don't understand how these folks are pumping out like 6 cigars. Like, because for me, like my development time is about a year and a half, 2 years on every cigar, right? We're blending them, sitting with them, smoking a shit ton of them, checking transitions, checking how they age and marry over time. And then, when they're ready, they're ready. And I don't know what that looks like, but it's just, you feel it. Like when you're smoking it, you're like, this is something that I think I'll enjoy and people will enjoy it. And so there's hundreds of blends. And every time I take someone down there, you can ask Norm and those guys from Cigar Vault, they've been in the factory with me, is like, there's so much shit. And they're like, what are you doing with that? I'm like, I have no idea. We'll see.
That's awesome. Yeah, you answered my question better than I asked it. So thank you. That was perfect.
So you're over there working with Noel, and you're starting to create your own line, your own what's going to be your legacy through cigars.
How romantic.
I want, yeah. So what came first? Did you start blending the cigars and hoping to come up with a name or a brand, or did you have a brand in mind or a brand name in mind? Stolen Thrones, did you have that in mind before you started blending? What was that process?
No way, man. I had the crook done way before I knew what we were going to call it or what the brand was going to be, whatever, right? Like I just went in eyes wide shut. It's like one of those situations where the base of the crook in reality was, with me being a boutique smoker, the typical boutique smoker does not smoke the same cigar over and over again, right? They get bored. And so the concept, because it was like you have this wide variety of things and opportunities that you could do in front of you. And it's like, okay, well, how the fuck do I get started? Like just one, how do you eat an elephant one bite at a time, right? So it's like start with a small goal, like, all right, what if I could create a cigar that I didn't get bored with, that I could smoke no matter what time of day, no matter how many cigars I've had that day, I can go back to that cigar over and over again. And in reality, people think I'm joking, but hindsight's 2020. But if I couldn't sell them, I was smoking 10,000 of them. So, um, and that's how the crook came. The crook is, and still is that cigar that no matter what time of day, no matter how many cigars a day I smoked that day, I can always go to that cigar every single time. Right.
I can agree
And
with that
so-
one. I've had that cigar as one of my first cigars of the day. I've also had that cigar as I've been winding down for the night. I mean,
Same.
whether it's with a good glass of whiskey or it's something that's, something with coffee, that cigar hits home every time.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, it definitely hit the goal. I definitely nailed the goal on that one, right? So, then it took off and became a world of its own. But yeah, I had that cigar months before I had a brand or the name for it.
So did you have any other names that you were working with that you wanted to call your brand before you came up with Stolen Thrones?
Yeah, there was a couple, but in reality, trademarks are a bitch, and I don't share them just in
We
case
hear that
they
a
ever-
lot.
just in case they die. Because like it's just like, man, like this person does everything wrong in business, but they were smart enough to trademark a name that you like, right? Like they're completely
get
out of
that.
business, and like you're like, fuck, man, why did this have to be the only thing you did right? But it's so funny because I've only shared it with like a couple people, and two of them are retailers that are close friends of mine. They're like, I'm so fucking glad you didn't call your cigars that. So I'm like, oh, okay.
So offline, I need to know what that name is because now I'm intrigued.
Yeah. Like I legit, like one of our biggest accounts, like, I'm so fucking happy you didn't call your cigars that. I'm
That
like,
is
oh,
awesome.
all right.
So I'm a logo guy, a brand guy. I've got a little bit of an art background, and I love it. Like, who comes up with your? Do you do all the designs for all of your artwork, or do you have input on it, or how's that go?
Yeah, we do all that stuff in house. So everything we come up with on our own. Now, our director of sales, Phil, has become like my jack of all trades, my little executive officer. He does all of our band design work and sets all the vector files and stuff for our brand printing. So him and I will kind of spitball, and basically, I like to let creative people be creative, just like I like to be creative when I'm blending cigars and stuff. So I'll give him concepts or ideas that I'm thinking about, and I just kind of let him run with it and see what he comes up with. I find that when you don't put as many constraints on something, the best stuff comes out. Right? Sometimes we try too hard, and you try to fit that square peg into that round hole, no matter how bad it doesn't want to go in there. Right? So
I agree.
yeah, I mean now it's like I come up with concepts and just kind of let those guys run, and we all look at it, get feedback, and kind of go with it. The team has input, whether that's the way I go or not. I mean, that's different, but everyone has a say. The same thing with blends and cigars and stuff. These guys. So we've had some bad experiences depending on who you are. I'm looking at you, Ferrari Jim, right now. Uh, when I bring wheels of stuff that I'm working on and bring into conceptual, and there's one rack in our humidor here that is whatever's on there, no matter who you are. If you come in, you want to grab a cigar, you grab it from that rack, you're good to go. A lot of times it's test blends. A lot of times there's a bunch of shit on there. Um, I've paid the price for that a couple times. There's a infamous story here about one of the Hawaii exclusives, the Kiave, the first one that we made for Marvin at our fields. I brought back like 100 cigars, like 2 full wheels, and within a week, these fuckers smoked them all. I got maybe like 3 of them out of there. They smoked them all. Yeah.
Wow. They must have been pretty tasty, I take it.
They worked out. It worked out.
Absolutely. No, man, I will say your design work, it stands out, man. It's different, than a lot of things you're going to see on the shelf. And I'll say the Castle wasn't something it isn't 100% what you'd think you'd see next in your line, but it works for you guys because it all has a backstory and it's phenomenal, man. So I enjoy the artwork on the bands.
Yeah, so like that was a pretty cool story. Like that's probably the concept that I had the least involvement in, because I felt like Phil nailed it. Like I kind of told him what I was thinking, and he came up with the castle and the 919 in front. And the cool thing about that castle is that's a castle from Essex, England. I'm from Essex in Baltimore, a neighborhood in Baltimore, so that's where the castle plays. And then the 919, my address over front of it. So it worked out. It worked out great.
Yeah, it's perfect. Like I said, it doesn't, in my mind, it doesn't really fall into exactly what I'd expect from you, but it falls into line with the story of what you're creating, and it's really good, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's so funny because like when you hear the concepts and ideas that people have of like our branding, I'll never forget this. I was at an event years ago, and I'm like completely out of my element when this dude's talking music to me. He's like, "Yeah, dude." He's like, "Call to Arms. That's like a Dutch death metal band vibe." I'm like, I don't even know what the fuck that is, but that's cool, man. If that's what you think it is, like I don't know what Dutch death metal is, but okay, cool.
What does that even
And
sound
like, I don't know. I'm sure it's some version of Slaughter Your Daughter music. I don't know, like, but it's it's pretty good. And now that's what we always talk about. Like, yeah, this definitely
I'm
feels
not sure what it
Dutch.
is, but I'm sure John Aldi listens to it.
Oh, I'm sure, and he fucking loves it. Whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Like he's gonna text me with like 13 bands of fucking
Yeah.
cutting edge Dutch death metal scene.
Yeah, he's going to tell you the best songs from all of them and the lyrics that you need to know from each song.
Yeah.
So, Aldi's going to know all of it.
Yeah, he's so funny, man. He's so funny.
I love
He's
Aldi.
like, I look at that dude, and he's like one of those dudes where he's like, yeah, when Kid Rock said "ball with the wall," I felt that, man. I'm like, okay.
100%. That is him. 100%.
That's the best freaking
Yes.
explanation of John Aldi I've ever heard in my entire life.
Yeah.
And,
I'm like,
and he's
okay.
passionate about it. He's like, I felt that
Yeah,
in my soul. I can see that.
I love it.
So, okay. So going back into the branding and stuff. So how did the name come about?
Man, that is probably the most asked question.
I know.
And it's a super cool story, I guess, because like,
I
it's
love
true.
the story. That's why I'm asking it.
So, I've been around the cigar industry for a while. We were actually helping the account that was my very first account. I was actually helping out in that store. Not in a paid position or any way. I just hung out there all the time, and they were kind of trying to change, their offerings, and they wanted to get a little bit deeper into boutiques and like get away from all these legacy brands and all that kind of stuff. And so I was selecting brands for them and filling out orders and picking stuff for PCA for them. And so they had invited me into like this was a massive. It was a distributor, but they also had a cigar store, right? So they carried a lot of weight with a lot of brands and stuff because they moved a shit ton of stuff out the back door. And so we were invited to like a dinner one time that was like a couple principals and some reps and all that kind of stuff. And like really good time, whatever, we're just having a good time. And the majority of, I always say this, the majority of this industry are really good people. There's some fucking jerk offs like in everything. You get enough people together, there's some jerk offs in there, right? And so word had gotten out that I was starting a brand, that I was getting into it. And someone had made a comment like, there's no seat at the table, basically. Basically, like, what the fuck? Like, get out of here. And you guys have dealt with me enough to realize that that doesn't play with me at all, that kind of shit. So, and I said, well, fuck you, I'll steal one. And I was having a really, really hard time naming this brand, man. And the reason is because I'm a white dude from Baltimore. I'm not a legacy. I didn't grow up in tobacco. My family didn't, own farms and roll cigars since they were out of the womb and all that shit, So I wanted to be authentic. I didn't want to have to travel around with the guys and like be a used car salesman and fake this story, right? I didn't want to do that. And so I was really struggling. Lawyers are on my ass because we got to get paperwork filed and all that kind of stuff. And finally, I'm like, what am I going to do? And a friend of mine was like, hey, what about that time you told that dude to shove it up his ass? What about Stolen Throne Cigars? And I was like, done. Let's go. Put it on the board.
Love it. Love it.
So when you're getting told that that all the seats are taken, you have nothing left to offer. You should not even be here. What kind of fire did that put in your ass to like just say, hold my beer?
Man, when you're a spiteful prick like me, if I didn't even want to do it, now I want to do it. Right? Like I could have been like, I don't know if I really want to do this or not. But that would have been like, this is now the thing I want more than I've ever wanted to breathe. Like this is now, fuck you. That's just, unfortunately, that's a character flaw trait, however you want to spin it. Like,
so does that keep you going? So does that moment in time still keep you going today?
Like, I think about it all the fucking time.
Yeah. So the people
I think about it all the time.
5 years ago, 6 years ago, whenever it was, telling you that there's no room for you here at the table. It's all taken. You can't provide anything that somebody else hasn't already done. Does that still like gnaw at you every day?
Oh, it doesn't gnaw at me because I won, right? That guy's out of business.
100%.
I won, but it does. I think about it all the time. I
will say, well, you have always in interviews said that people have said. You just said that guy is done now. So I'm not going to ask who it is, but in your head, there was one guy that told you this.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you won.
A lesser me, there probably would have been a physical altercation, if I'm being completely honest. But in reality, it wasn't the time or the place. But in the end,
But what we're saying is you won. There you go. I love it. Love it. All right. So you have the name, you're Stolen Throne. So you're working with Noel Rojas. I mean, I was following Noel when he was doing stuff for other people. And I love what he's putting out now. Blue Bonnet, love Street Taco. I love the whole Street Taco blend that he's got, the whole brand that he's got behind it. Big fan. There is a guy outside Charleston, South Carolina, that he does a house blend for. I'm a big fan of. And so you're working with him. I guess Crook of the Crown was your first one.
yeah.
What was the blends that came after that? I want to know.
So
I guess I kind of want to know. You've got these blends that come afterwards. How did they get their name? How did they get what was the history behind them? Why are you naming them, call to arms, things like that?
well, once that is probably the most mundane part of the story, really. I mean, because once we had Crook of the Crown and Stolen Throne, and we had our kind of thing, our Dutch death metal, if you will. Uh, it was very easy to stay on brand marketing wise, right? And just kind of thinking about things that play, and maybe a blend has a nuance that goes into the name, maybe it doesn't, right? Like Call to Arms was just something that popped into my head, like as kind of like the sophomore thing, because it was like there was so much pressure to follow up the Crook. And that's kind of when I knew, like, because in reality, the Call to Arms blend was done in concept when we released the Crook, and we like I said, it's about a year and a half, 2 years after, because we spend so much time with it to make sure that it's what we want to do. And I knew that it had to be different. It had to be so vastly different, because no matter what I put after the Crook, the way that the Crook blew up, it was going to be, compared to it, right? And so,
And I have to say, the Crook blew up.
it did.
Every boutique cigar lover, when that one came out, that was on every Instagram page. That was on everybody's gotta smoke list. That was the cigar that people were posting out there, and people were asking, "What are you smoking? What is this cigar? Who is this?" And that's
Yeah.
how I found out about it.
Yeah, I mean, you figure the Crook's been out for over 6 years now, and it's still making consensus top 25 lists, right? Like that cigar became
And it
a
should. It's still solid. It's still relevant for everything that's coming out today. That cigar is still relevant to anything that anybody's putting out.
Yeah. No, I mean it became a thing of its own, right? I always joke that there's people that still don't know who the fuck I am or who Stolen Throne is, but they love the Crook of the Crown, right? And that's all that I care about. I don't give a shit if you know who I am or not. But yeah, it created this whirlwind, but then it's like I'm competing with myself, which is a cool concept, I suppose, but it's fucking crippling anxiety, right? It's like Jesus Christ. Like, okay, what do I do now? But we've worked it out, right? So we had the Call to Arms come out, then it was the Three Kingdoms, and then the Yorktown Fleet, and now the 919. So I found my way slowly but surely through it. I still get super anxious, like when we do something new and people get their hands on it and smoke it, and like because you do, man, you invest so much time and effort in developing something that you want someone to enjoy, and you hope that it works out. Right. And it's like I have to imagine, right? We joke all the time, a couple of my buddies in the industry, we joke all the time, is like this has to be what it feels like when you release an album. Like if you're a musician and you put a fucking album out, you're just like hoping that people
100%.
like, fuck, man, I hope they don't hate my blood, sweat, and tears. Like, but it is what
So
it is.
I'm not going to ask what they are, but I am going to ask. I know that you're sitting on stuff that you're working on, because I understand that you're constantly working on something. You are a lot like Mick and I, where we cannot sit still. We are always working on something to make either something better or the next best thing. How many different projects would you say that you're working on right now?
I mean, in totality, like shit that's
Yeah.
sitting around waiting for me to get back
Yeah.
to. Man, there's probably
Yeah.
hundreds. There's probably hundreds.
Nice.
And it's like,
That's
and the
awesome.
reason is, and for me,
And
it's
that's
because
awesome and insane at the same time.
oh, it is. It's fucking. I'm a psychopath. But the thing is, right? Like, I've over the years, I've tried a couple different things, and I've always found that it's just easier for me to keep working than try to like take a break and then get back to it and start from scratch, right? And then like take a break and like come back and like. So now I do that just in a different way. So I'll play with stuff for a while and then let it sit, come back to it, smoke it, see how it feels, scrap it, start over, whatever. Um, but that's also helped us create like exclusives for people and stuff that I've like I don't really know what I'm doing with it, but then it's like I have a friend that owns a store and they're like, well, we want a Stolen Throne exclusive, which everybody wants a Stolen Throne exclusive now, right? Which I'm thankful for, but I don't think people realize how much fucking work that is. Like, but like those are the concepts that kind of keep me going. So it's like I don't have to start and stop as much,
So,
because now as all my responsibilities in Nicaragua change, right? We have the factories now, we have the farms now, we're doing all this extra shit. I can't just go and fuck with, blending anymore. That's still a major part of what I do, but there's tobacco selection, there's bale selection for the production year, there's reblending to make sure that the production year stays the same. All those things now, which I had no concept of when I started.
so
Um,
how often do you split your time between the States and Nicaragua?
it's pretty close to 50-50. I'm in
Okay.
I'm in Nicaragua at least, every other month or so, at least once or twice a quarter, for weeks at a time to kind of, there's just so much shit to do. And even spending that time there, it's still not enough. I still should be there more, but I have two young kids and I got to be here, right? So it's definitely a balancing act that I try to kind of perfect, which is impossible.
All right. So
So
not asking their name, and we like to get into like who the person is. What are the ages of your two young kids?
I have a 7-year-old little girl and a 3-year-old boy.
That's amazing. Awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool. So
Good ages.
knowing that you got all of this backstock that you are either trying to come up with other things for or you're trying to come up with other people for, is there something in the aging humidor right now that you are completely excited for, that you want people to know about? You just don't know what the hell you're going to do with it yet.
Yeah. There's a I'm formulating a concept for a yearly, limited that we're
All
gonna
right.
bring
So,
back every year. But it's gonna
so
be a little
not
bit of
pop.
a different it's gonna be a little bit of a different concept. We're gonna roll all the cigars at one time. And then I'm
So,
gonna release a little bit every year as they get older until they're gone.
all right. So I'm going to not asking the name, the blend or anything about that, but I know you have something in the humidor right now that's aging that you're excited about. So be very vague, but be very, tell us about that one. Why are you excited about that one? What are you getting
It's
from it? Is it like it's strong, or it's a very chocolatey, or it's a very earthy, or it's something completely different that I've never done before?
yeah, it's a very complex blend that's gonna start off like the first couple years are gonna, you know, put you on your ass a little bit. But I think it's a blend that over time, because the concept would be the same as like putting a barrel in a rick house for 10 years and forgetting about it. Right. And so for me, the concept is we're going to make all the cigars at once. And then we're going to release them periodic, like every year, a certain amount every year until they're gone.
How many you're
Um,
making at once?
that I'm still trying to figure out, because the problem with that is our demand continues to increase. Right. So it's like,
And it's going to.
yeah. And like, so for me, it's like, I'm not a smoke and mirrors guy. If I tell you we make X, that's what we're making. So if I tell you it's 100,000, it's 100,000, but then I can't change it because I've committed to it. Right.
I get
So
that.
I'm not sure. I haven't quite dialed in the number of what we're gonna do yet. I have an idea, but at some point I'm just gonna have to pull the trigger and get after it. because I got a time frame of when I want to put it out, and then hit that every year, right? So yeah, I'm super excited for it because I just think that the way that it's going to age over time is really going to be cool, especially for the folks that go out of their way to support us and buy everything we do. I think it's going to be a real cool thing for them to do, to see like year one as compared to like year 7 or 8 that we do with this cigar.
It's such a cool concept. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen where people are going to roll them all at the same time. They may use the same blend, the same Vitola, the same whatever, but they don't ever roll them at the same time and see how they age over time. So putting out a pre-rolled cigar that's maybe 4 or 5 years old, that's pretty incredible, man. That's awesome. That's a cool concept.
I mean, we've already built the infrastructure here. We just expanded our humidor to about 3,000 square feet here, so we're going to have master carton space and that kind of stuff, because in reality, it's the only way that I can guarantee the experience that I want is that we roll them all at the same time. We could use the same bales year over year, but that's not going to have the same concept or changing of age and impact of age as it would if the cigars were already done. Right. So, of course, the guys here fucking hate it because it's going to be on them to make sure that everything's maintained at the right, humidity, X, Y, and Z. That's not a me problem. I don't have to worry about that shit anymore. But yeah, no, I think it's a really cool concept. I'm always trying to do things a little bit differently and kind of take our own spin on things. And people seem the few people that I've talked to about it, you guys would be the first public platform, but everyone seems pretty excited about it. So I think that's going to be a cool concept.
I'll also say that if I know you probably have plenty of outlets, but since you talked about it on here, if you want to come back on when you're ready to announce it, let us know and we got you, man.
Sure.
Hey, so I'm gonna take a weird path because that's what we do in this show. So I'm gonna try to do a full circle story on something that happened on a past episode. So we had Zach and Andre on with HGA, and Zach and we were talking funny stories between the two of them. And Andre brought up about Zach meeting Ed Reed at PCA and having no fucking clue who he was. So I'm gonna try to go full circle here. You do have a relationship with Ed Reed, right? And you also
a very close relationship. A very close relationship, yeah.
Okay.
He's a good friend of ours. I know this story, and it's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, that was a great story, and it wasn't until I was doing my little bit of research for the show that I'm like, fucking Ed Reed. That's the same guy that Zach had no clue who he was when he was at PCA. So yeah, I figured you could maybe shed a little light on that one and kind of go full circle with it.
Yeah, so Ed and I are very close. We do the distribution for ER Fine Cigars. I'm involved with the Ed Reed Foundation. Ed's a very good close friend of ours. He's with us at PCA. We do a lot of stuff together. A very super great dude. Obviously, I was a big fan of him. We weren't friends when he was playing in Baltimore, but became friends after the fact. Super fucking funny story, man. So Zach and Andre were actually here looking at the Ed Reed corner of the office. Ed fucking constantly brings me shit to put up on the walls here, and it's like, it's got to be there by the next time he comes, or he's like, you're disappointed dad. And it's like, so we have a bunch of shit that he just keeps bringing here. So they're sitting here telling the story about how they were at PCA. Fucking Zach like introduces like, oh, who you with, man? He's like, like he's a rep or something. And like, well, and so in fairness, Ed is a very humble, very approachable, very like great person, right? If you didn't know, you wouldn't, because you'll see him cleaning ashtrays and doing stuff and picking stuff up and like whatever. Like he's super eccentric, wonderful person, dude. One of my favorite people in the world.
That's awesome.
But like that's talking to him like he's a rep. And he's like, no, man, I have my own cigars. I'm here with Lee. He's like, oh, you work with Stolen Throne? He's like, no, like they're my distributor. Like Lee's my friend. He takes care of me. Like we're family, whatever. And Andre's like, dude, that's fucking Hall of Fame safety Ed Reed, dude.
Yeah.
So it's like, like the greatest safety of all time, dude. You asked him if he was a fucking rep.
That is so great, man. As soon as I saw Ed Reed pop up when I was, so great.
And of course, Ed didn't care, right? Like Ed doesn't give a shit. It didn't bother him one bit, right? But it's
Zach
just so
was
funny,
destroyed.
man.
Zach was destroyed. He's still still fucked up over
That's
it.
like asking the guy. So, are you the guy that like sweeps up after all them, and you pack the boxes, and are you
Or
the
I used to play a little
janitor?
football. I
Yeah.
used to play a little football, and he'd be like,
So, have
Yeah.
you ever
"Oh yeah."
played sports? Who are you?
Yeah. Yeah,
Hey,
I mean,
so
Zach and Andre are good friends of ours, right? Like, so I want to save him. Ed does not look like he did when he played, right? Ed's super
yeah.
lean now. Looks, if you didn't know that's who it was, I mean, how do you not know? But yeah, whatever. It is what it is.
So
You know,
do you think Ed would want to jump on the show some night with us, man, and do a little roundabout, smoke his cigars?
I mean, you can always ask. I mean, I'm sure he wants to. If he will, that's another story. You know, Ed is like trying to catch a wind in a bottle. You know, uh,
I
we
feel
can
that.
always ask. We can
Yeah,
always
yeah.
ask.
I didn't know how easy he was to contact, man, but we'll see what we can do. But I've heard good things about his line as well, so I'd be interested to have him on, man.
Sure.
Oh, I've had some of his cigars. They're good. So, all right. So I want to go and take this into some stuff that I found very interesting.
Oh boy.
You've had an exciting last couple of years.
Yeah, a little bit.
Let's talk about the last couple of years. You were asked to make cigars for Paramount Plus, Yellowstone. You were also asked to make cigars for the Preakness 150. You were also asked to make cigars, or actually help blend this beautiful bottle of Penelope Bourbon. I want to get into those three things. Before we end things with you, my biggest thing is I want to know the history behind each one of those. So let's start with it.
Yeah, I mean,
One,
basically, I have to
so
start
how
saying
did
no
how
to shit. I have to start saying
yeah,
no.
I mean, how when I started realizing what you were getting into over the last couple of years, I don't know any other brand that's as hot as what you are right now that people don't know about.
That
I mean,
Panso's so hot right now.
that's insane. That's insanely crazy. So let's go into Yellowstone.
Well, when you put
So
it like that, I've been very busy, I guess.
shut up. You're always busy. I mean, there's not one
That's
person that
true.
we've ever talked to about you that doesn't say that he is working. What's Lee doing? He's working.
Yeah, I'm like a shark, man. I'm scared if I stop moving, I'll just die.
Yeah, so are
Like,
we.
I just gotta
So
keep going.
let's talk about okay, so you've got cigars that you did for Yellowstone. So how did that happen?
I'd like to tell you some super fucking great story about how much like Taylor Sheridan loves me and this, that, and the other thing. But it's
Let's
all
lie and
luck,
say he
man.
does.
Yeah, oh, he does. He's awesome. Yeah, we're cool. But that's not how it all got started. And really, it was all happenstance, man. So Taylor Taylor owns the Bosque Ranch. He lives out in Weatherford, Texas. There's a there's a shop there that's now called Cattleman, owned by our good friend Fernando, big supporter of us. Before then, Cattleman was called AME Cigars. Great people. Kenny and Connie own that place. Good, dear folks of ours. Been supporters of us for years. And so it just happened that their shop was like the local hangout for all the writers and EPs, like Fernando, when they were writing for Yellowstone and doing all these things. And unbeknownst to me, those guys all smoke Stolen Throne regularly. And it just happened that they were writing one of the prequels, 1883, and the one of the prop directors came in from California, saw our packaging, asked one of the guys what was going on with the cigar. They started talking. They had Kenny reach out to me like, "Hey, would you be interested in working with Paramount in Yellowstone?" I was like, "Nah, I'm good." Yeah, okay, yeah, of course, I'll do it. You know what I mean? And that's how it happened. And so there's, So pretty much every cigar smoked on 1883 and 1923 is a Stolen Throne cigar. Um, there's crooks and calls that are banded on the set. There's some homemade stuff, custom stuff we did for them and some of the cast members to have for their personal stuff outside of that. But yeah, I mean, it was a pretty straightforward kind of like, do you want to do this? Yes. Okay, let's do it. Right.
So they're smoking random. I can't say random cigars, but they're smoking cigars from your brand. Are they smoking like Coraline stuff, or are they
Yeah,
smoking?
both. So there
Okay,
was some
so
so there was some
so
stuff that we made
when
for people that aren't like smokers that they would smoke, but there are Crook of the Crown and Call to Arms on set on camera in those shots.
so is there any cigar like when you look at the Sopranos, they did something with CAO and they had the consigliere.
Yeah.
Is there anything that's going to come up with like in the future that's going to be like a Stolen Throne, Yellowstone kind of cigar?
I won't say never. Uh we'll see. Licensing and stuff becomes a big deal. The legality of all that shit was a pain in the ass. But I'll never say never. How about that?
All right, so you look at the cast that was smoking cigars, whether it was 1883 or Yellowstone. Who was the one person that you saw smoking your cigar that you were like, damn, that's pretty cool?
Probably Billy Bob, right?
Yeah.
So like that was just cool because we're big fans, right? We watch Landman, and of course I
Oh,
support
yeah.
everything
Landman
Taylor
is
does.
awesome.
And like Landman is, Landman Lioness is actually shows of our friend Fernando out of Cattleman. Go in there, buy some Stolen Throne, tell him you love his shows. Um, yeah, I mean, I don't get too worked up about a lot of that shit, to be honest with you, dude. It's just not
I
who I am.
understand that you don't get worked up on it, but it's got to be cool that, it's people that I guess can help out the brand by smoking it, but it's got to be cool that they enjoy it and that that you got asked to be a part of it.
Oh yeah, the experiences are always awesome, man. For me, one of the other things you want to talk about, like in reality, not to downplay how great like Yellowstone was or whatever, but the Preakness was a big deal for me, right?
We're about to
Like,
get into that one. Yep.
and that's because, man, I grew up in Baltimore. I grew up going to that race. I grew up watching that race, and to be asked to be a part of something as big as the 150th anniversary of the running of that race was just fucking cool, man. Like super massive, uh, you know, that brings in your family too. My grandmother's super proud. Like it's just that was a big deal. That was a super
So
big deal.
let's talk about that one. So how did you get invited to do that? Because I mean, again, I keep saying that you've had a big couple of years. You did the whole Paramount Plus thing, and now you've got the Preakness. Because I grew up in most of my I guess formative years was in Kentucky. So we did a lot of the horse racing stuff.
Sure.
We did a whole lot of the bourbon stuff. So the fact that you were invited to do the cigar for the Preakness, how'd that happen?
Yeah, so it was actually a little bit of a crossover, actually. Unbeknownst to me, like one of the marketing heads that now runs First, which is the company that kind of manages the races for the family that owns the Preakness and like the Maryland Jockey Club and stuff. He was actually, and I didn't know this till later, that he was at Paramount Plus when I got that deal. Right. So there was a little bit of carryover. He understood how he operated and what a success that was. And so that laid the groundwork. And then you throw in the fact that I'm from Baltimore. I have history with the race. I grew up 15 minutes from Pimlico, like all those things, right? It just, again, like just serendipitously came together. And so it just kind of all played out. They asked, and again, I was like, yeah, sure. Again, I got to start saying no to some of this shit, man.
You probably
So-
shouldn't, man. Honestly, what an honor. You should not say no to any of it, man. It's
Yeah,
awesome.
that's a cool thing, and we did the Coop show. Coop is big into the horse racing, and he's right. And like he always held the pulse when it came to that cigar. He's like, dude, do you realize how many people don't even smoke cigars, but they're all about that cigar. They're asking about that cigar. So that was cool, man. I'd be bullshitting you if I said like that one didn't fire me up a little bit, right? Just because of like coming full circle,
I was just gonna say,
So,
it all ties back to your home, man. Like, and it
yeah,
ties back to that part of how you grew up, where you grew up, and being able to be a part of something like that, man. 150th anniversary. That's insane for you to have your name on that forever. That's crazy.
yeah. I mean, in reality, the nostalgia for me because it's the last one. It's traditional Pimlico, right? They're tearing it down and rebuilding it and all that kind of stuff. So like, there's just a lot of really really cool things that kind of hit home for me, literally and figuratively. So to be able to be a part of something like that, no matter what happens after, to your point, we were always involved with that, right? So that was super awesome, super super awesome. The cigar was
So
kick
it's
ass too. Everyone loved the cigar too, but the whole ambiance of it was
so it sounds like the Preakness was something that was special to you.
yeah.
Is it something that you were involved in growing up? Is it something that, as a a young person, that you got to visit it or
Yeah.
experience growing up?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, when I was a kid, things have changed a little bit. The last couple years, I've been riding the rail here in the on the Turfside Terrace, but we had the cheap seats back in the day, or watched it at home on television. But yeah, pretty much, I remember every year as a kid watching the Preakness, and especially the years where because especially it's an overlooked race for the casual fan, but in reality, it's the biggest race because it determines if you're going to have a triple crown contender or not, right? Because you've already had the Derby. They need to win the Preakness to even be in that conversation, right? So, yeah, dude, it's a ingrained part of my childhood. So to be able to
So
come back,
let's go into that. So, what is one of the fondest memories of that race from when you were a kid? And let's talk about what is the fondest memory you have as an adult coming back to it.
I mean, just coming back to it in a different capacity was awesome, right? Just being there, understanding that I played a very minuscule part of it, right, was awesome. But you always have to. It's always going to be American Pharoah, right? Because you see that, and it goes on to win the Triple Crown in my lifetime, right? So like that's always going to be paramount, right? So, but coming back and knowing that, like, in some way, shape, or form, I'm associated with such a historical part of Baltimore, even in such a small way, right? I don't want to
You're going to
overshadow.
always be a part of this race now. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to
I mean,
oversell my part, but like in reality, just to be
here,
associated,
I will oversell the part because they came to you asking you to do a cigar for that event. So it doesn't matter whatever happens to that event, that stadium, that horse race, you will forever be a part of that. That would be something like somebody coming for Lexington, Kentucky, because that was where I lived for a while, or Chattanooga, Tennessee. That's where I was born and raised. If I was to ever have a part of something big in those areas, that would forever be something that I would treasure. And as a boy from Baltimore, and you got to be that guy that got to blend and put out that cigar for that race, for that anniversary, you will forever be a part of that legacy.
yeah, you nailed it.
That's amazing.
Absolutely,
I
absolutely.
mean, There's no better coming home than that.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. You nailed it. You nailed it. That's all time for me, to be honest. You know.
All right, so we talked about Yellowstone. We talked about the Preakness. Let's talk about the greatness as a bourbon guy. So we had you on here a couple of months ago, and we had you on here with Sin, and we actually got to be the pleasure, the honor of being the first podcast that actually got to talk about Cigar Sessions Chapter 1. So let's talk about how that came to be.
Yeah, man. You know, it's one of these things like, I guess to your guys' point, I just keep being in the right rooms at the right times, you know. But it's just another grassroots kind of situation where, you know, Donnie, I can't speak enough about Donnie. Donnie, you know, did some work for Penelope, big cigar fan of both mine and Sim's brands. I met Donnie multiple times at Nickelby's in Omaha and just some more, you know, talked to him a lot over, you know, the interwebs, if you will. And he approached me some time ago and was like, "Hey, Penelope's like, here's what we're trying to pitch, and I like this idea of like creating a true cigar pairing bourbon, not some gimmick and like." 'Cause they know that's a non-starter for me from the get-go. I'm not a gimmick. I don't do gimmicks, all that kind of shit, you know. But would you be interested in that? And I'll be honest with you, like I was apprehensive because it's like, all right, like what's this really gonna look like? Are they like just sending us stuff and being like, hey, here's what you're gonna say is yours? Or is it gonna be, you know, something that we're truly in control of creatively? And I couldn't say enough about Mike and Danny and Matt and all the like the Penelope family. I'm so happy to be associated with and be a part of that. It's a truly an honor. They really went all in on this. They went balls deep, dude. Like because they let us control everything and be a part of this, and they really took a risk, and it fucking exploded. I think we did. I think the final count we did like 10,000 cases. You know, and unbeknownst to me, like that's a massive win for liquor. You know, after talking to Michael at dinner one night at Kentucky Bourbon Festival, he's like, I don't think you. He's like, I don't think you realize like how big of a deal that is. And I'm like, I don't. I
Yeah.
don't. You know, but we had such a fucking cool time, man. We got to sit and meet. We probably signed like 300-400 bottles at Kentucky Bourbon Fest and hanging out with people and talking about it and planning the future and all those kind of things. And just a super cool thing to be a part of and kind of molding and welding those two, you know, markets together, right? The bourbon drinkers, cigar drinkers, because you don't have to be one or the other to enjoy it, right? So um yeah, it's cool experience. Super cool
So
experience.
I will say I have a bottle that I've been drinking on or sipping on for a while, and I have an unopened bottle. The unopened bottle will be a bottle that one day when I get to meet you, shake your hand and say, "Hey, it's a pleasure to meet you. I'm going to get you to sign." Same thing with Sin. And then I hope to meet the guys, the brothers from Penelope. I want to get them to sign the bottle, and it's going to go up in my office somewhere because it's a bottle that just because the relationship that we have with Sin and you know getting to know you through that podcast and now this one, I want to keep that one kind of unopened and just have something that I can display that says these guys know what the hell they're doing.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was like it was a proof of concept, right? Because we didn't know what we were doing, right? We just basically went about it from my standpoint of like creating it as we are creating, as I would create a blend, one piece at a time, one
Yep.
component at a time, and building and building and building. And the cool thing about it was the similarities, right? There's components to this that I fucking absolutely hated by itself. But added to the sum of the parts, it worked so well and added depth and all those things, right? And it's the same reason of why I'm never myopic when I'm trying to blend or create something, because you can miss out on all like millions of opportunities that you would just look past.
Yeah.
And so to add that to the repertoire of things that we were able to be a part of and kind of contribute to was fucking, it's just awesome, man. It's, and you meet relationships are everything. You meet such great people that really cared about what we were doing, and just spending time with all those folks in Kentucky. And like, so I went out there and, you know, I stayed through the weekend just to spend some time with the folks that are busting their asses. That team, man, I tell you what, people can say I'm a hard worker, and that's true. But the folks at Penelope, those are fucking warriors, dude. They're warriors. And they're just super, super great people. And it was so cool to be a part of that team and create something and be able to share that successes with those folks and kind of see the whole thing come to fruition. And having a smoking lounge in Kentucky Bourbon Festival, which is a big no-no, but we didn't give a shit. We did it anyway, and it was awesome. It was awesome.
I will start off by saying that looked like one hell of a party. I watched
It
the videos.
did, and you were gonna hear some stories about me that they're all true. I'm gonna try to pretend that they're not, but they're true.
I would absolutely love to party with you on one of those, man. It looked like a great time. But
We had a blast.
I will say that so I'm fairly new to the bourbon scene because I've sworn it off for so many years, man. But I will say that I've tried other cigar blends, and you're what? Thank you, Charles. I appreciate it. Yeah. So I've been a rum and tequila guy forever. Hated bourbon.
I cut him off at the right time. It's okay to be wrong. Don't worry about it. You know.
Yeah, Mick has a problem with his internet jumping off lately, so I don't know what the hell is going on.
Why?
Why? The old dial-up, man. Dial-up, they're killing AOL.
Why is it every time I decide to say something? Fucking A. Anyway.
Hey, Mick, you've got mail.
What's your AIM name, bro? What's your screen name?
I'll check my MySpace. I'll give it to you. No, I was also going to give a shout out to Donnie, man, because I know just watching him in that episode how passionate and emotional he was in that episode with how much he cared about bringing that together. And I'm not just kissing your ass because you're on here, man. I seriously think he couldn't have picked two better people in the boutique industry to help blend this, because you guys actually care about the blends maybe more in depth than most people we've ever talked to. You know, I mean, you really want to dig deep into what you're putting out there. So
I think, man. Well, I think that's a brand reputation thing too, right? And I think it's not so much about me as it is our consumers that have been so fucking loyal to me over the years, you know. And they've come to expect a certain level of effort and things from me, and I try to make sure that I live up to that, right, as best as I can. And so I try not to agree to do things if I'm not gonna bust my ass and give everything I have for it, you know. And it is taxing. It does become a big thing, but it's something that, like, I guess I didn't really think about it the way you guys have, how busy I've been over the last couple of years. But yeah, I mean, it's one thing after the other, thankfully, right? You know, so yeah, I can't speak enough about how great these opportunities are. It was just awesome.
So whether it's into the Yellowstone portfolio or the Preakness portfolio or the Penelope portfolio, have you been contacted to start doing anything with either one of those brands again?
Yeah, there's some stuff in the works.
I was about to say, you don't have to say which one, but just out of the three, is there something that, you know, one of them is talking to you about it? Because we had somebody on here said, we need a Stolen Throne on Tulsa King. I will say, when it comes to Taylor Sheridan stuff, Tulsa King is probably one of my favorite new ones that's come out. I love Tulsa King. So you see Sly over there smoking a cigar. I would love to know that Sly is smoking, you know, something from Stolen Throne. That'd be great.
Yeah, we don't have Sly yet. I'm biased, right? Like Fernando's a close friend, close supporter. I'm a big Landman guy. I think Landman's fucking awesome. And
That
Lioness
is
is awesome
that is
too.
Landman is great.
I'm super excited for season two. Um, Secret time. I was supposed to schedules didn't work out. I had some family stuff to take out of. I was actually supposed to be an extra. He asked me to come down. I couldn't make the call
Oh,
dates, but
really?
yeah, but
That would have been awesome.
yeah, it would have been great. It would have been great. Missed opportunity, you know.
All right, so watching Landman, when you realize that, you know, watching somebody that was Sons of Anarchy going into Mayans and realizing one of the main players from both seasons ended up getting blown up one of the first episodes. Come on, you had to be like, holy shit, what just
It's just
happened?
unpredictable. That's what I love about it. It's just
Yeah,
unpredictable. It's his writing style, and he, you know, obviously I'm biased because I've been affiliated with them, but I just think what he's doing, man, is just fucking awesome. I
he's a
just
great writer.
Yeah, absolutely. He's got I've met a handful of people that work with him, just really, really good people, hard workers, and just putting out good shit, man. And that's really the name of the game, right? Creatives just working their ass off to try to put out the best product they can.
All right, so let's go into the future. We've already gone into, going into the past, into what you have gone over in the last few years, which is incredible. What do you got going on coming up in the future?
More work, man.
More
More
work.
shit that you could
Okay.
talk about how busy I am. Nah, it's I always get
Hey,
these questions of like where we
bro,
want to be.
I love talking about how busy you are because there are so many other brands that are like, yeah, we got this coming up and whatever. You're like, I am balls to the wall doing this, this, and this, and this.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
excited
just
for it.
like, yeah, it wears me the fuck out though. I'm aging exponentially. But no, I mean it beats the alternative, right? The phone stopped ringing. That's not a good thing either. Um, but for me, it's like I never get caught up in these questions of like, oh, where do you see Stolen Throne in 5 years? Well, I hope we're still here doing what we're doing and pushing the limits and trying to be better tomorrow than we were today. And really that's it. Like just continuing to push creativity and kind of continue to serve our consumers, man. These men and women, they work their asses off and they use cigars to escape the bullshit from the outside world for a little bit. And I've always said this, and it's probably one of my taglines that I use the most is like when someone spends their hard-earned money and they choose to do it on a Stolen Throne product, I take that very personally, you know. So
100%.
it's one of those things where that's my focus, you know. Um,
So, as somebody who does, you talked about you hate the idea of brand extensions.
Line extensions,
Whether
yeah, I don't.
line
Yeah, I don't.
extensions. Are you looking over the next year, 2 years or more? Are you looking into doing more limited or more core line coming up?
It's a balance, right? Because, like I said, the cigars tell me when they're ready. So I don't utilize PCA or whatever as some fucking arbitrary deadline of I have to make a cigar by then. I don't do that. Like I can't. I don't work good under rules, and that makes it even worse when someone tries to give me a deadline. That's why I have my own company, so I don't have to do that. Um, but
I,
it,
I,
it,
I
it
love the non-answer answer. That's fantastic.
Well, it's like because I always have stuff working, right? There's stuff we're gonna do, and there's a lot of stuff that we fell really far behind with creative stuff during like COVID because the whole goal was then just to keep regular production in the factory going, right? And so
So
there's a lot of things that I have to catch up.
when COVID happened, how old were you?
Um, we
You
were
just
like
had it.
we
You
were
had
like
to be a couple of years. I about to say you
two
had
or
to be
three
a couple of
years.
years old. Yeah.
Yeah. And so there was all these things and like limited projects that I had slated and that we kind of just put on the back burner. So generally what we've done is like for for years that we don't have a regular production ready to go or conceptualized and ready, we might start pumping in some of these limiteds that I've had done for a while. There's a couple projects that I've had that are 2, 3, 4 years old that I just never got back around to. For whatever reason, time constraints, like the marketing of it all, just the finishing of the concepts and all that. So those are going to be years, and next year will probably be one of those years where you see a handful of stuff limiteds come out from us that we're just trying to catch up on, sprinkled in with the just keeping business rolling with our regular productions. We live and die off our core lines. We're not one of these brands that like live limited to limited. We spots check some stuff and throw some stuff in there creatively that we want to work with, but basically those things are stuff I might not have enough to make hundreds of thousands of cigars, but I can do 20, 30,000 cigars, and stuff like that, which allows me to like scratch that creative itch of doing something different and popping it out there. And then, doing annual limiteds like we discussed. So there's a myriad of options that we have that are constantly running through my brain of what's next. Because nothing is ever enough. We just put out like 2 or 3 new cigars, and everyone's like, "Well, what are you gonna do next?" Well, fuck, man, I don't know. But yeah, I
That's
mean, so
that's gotta be crazy because the hours and the years that it took to get to that, to those cigars, and you finally
yeah,
put those out, and they're looking at you going, "Okay, what's next?" You've got to be melting down in your chair, going, "I don't know."
yeah, I am every time. I'm like, I usually don't fucking ask me that. No, I mean, but it's the same parallels we talk about with music, right? Imagine busting your ass writing an album, and then someone, as soon as you put it out next week's like, okay, well, what are you gonna do next? Well, fuck, man, I don't know. I need a breather. No, so and that's another benefit to always working, right? Always having something going, so that you're never at this like stale point, where like, oh, I don't have anything that I could work on, or I got to start from scratch, because that's a painful process. It's not always like super easy. It's just like, I'm not this guy that just throws shit together and be like, okay, here's the next cigar, you know?
I will say it's okay. It's not totally different, but like with us too, it's the exact same thing because we always try to keep things somewhat fresh with and Charles is like a master with graphics, and I'm always trying to find ways to make it look good on Instagram and put stuff together and whatever, And I feel you, man, 100%. Because if you fall into that trap where you're comfortable where you are, you're never going to grow. And
Yeah.
you have to keep pushing yourself to that next limit, to try to find that next level.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's 100% true. I mean, I get that question a lot about like success and like, how do you maintain, right? And I told him, I told Zach and Andre this. I said, you have to get to a point where you're comfortable with a certain level of uncomfortability. Like,
Right.
yeah, the stress and the anxiety and the pressures to keep going and push the pace, and like, yeah, it's exhausting, and you do have to find ways of outlets and way to take it easy, but in reality, like, that's the nature. That's how you continue to push the fire and make sure the flame doesn't go out. And it's not for everyone, and you see it. I mean, you can visually see it, so it's hard. Yeah, I mean, to do this constant for 6 years, about to go into year 7, like, it's taxing, but it's so rewarding. I mean, having those folks that like, it's the small things that matter the most. Like when someone's like, "Man, my work week sucked. I'm lighting this up," and it's a Stolen Throne cigar. Or when someone tells me like, "Hey, I still have a Brody. I went through a life event, and like, I chose to smoke this." So, you know, those are the things that keep you going, right? Or,
Yeah, I
so
can
it's
only
like,
imagine, man.
so yeah, I mean, yeah, it's fucking exhausting, dude. But like, this is awesome. I get to fucking hang out with my friends, run a business that we built, and meet great people that just like to hang out and smoke cigars.
Yeah,
It's not that fucking bad.
this community is not
Yeah.
like no other, man. I know Charles and I talk all the time about this being a second job, and it is. But
Sure.
It's worth it. It's worth it 99% of the time, man, because we get to meet people like yourself and other people in the community that we would have never met if we would not have done this, and had fun with it and just kind of grew that base. So, I mean, I feel you 100%, man. It's definitely way more positives than negatives for sure.
All right, Lee, I'm going to go ahead and jump on here. And I will say that there are so many more questions that I would love to ask, but we would be on here all freaking night long.
You guys already got me at 2 hours.
I get that.
Time.
Yep. And we talked about that earlier. So we are going to go ahead and stop the questions, except for we do have to ask you. We always ask every guest that we have on here if you're willing to play Hotbox questions. Hotbox questions are 10 random questions that are random to you, not random to us, but we're going to ask you just to get to know you a little bit more. Are you willing to play Hotbox questions?
Yes, sir, I am. I will say this, though. Mick did say that he was going to do this episode shirtless, and he didn't.
He didn't. He's a liar. And
I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
We need to shame him for it.
You do not want to see that.
All right, so tonight
we lose followers.
Yeah, maybe. You never know. All right, tonight Hotbox questions are brought to you by none other than Beard Apothecary.
What up, Real Smoke family? John here from Beard Apothecary, coming to you from the Beard Apothecary headquarters. I want to let you know about a new product that we just dropped on the website. It is our first ever mustache wax, dubbed the Moustache Wax. This comes to us from a big help from our friend Larry Moose. Larry was instrumental in getting this whole thing together with all the research that he did and all the talks and the Zoom calls and everything to get this product out there. Larry tested this for us. We've got it dialed in. It is a very good medium hold wax that will help you keep that handlebar going, help you train that mustache. This product is no joke. Larry was a huge help. Thank you so much, bro. Real Smoke family, make sure you like, comment, and follow the page. Get these guys blown up. Don't let the beard look weird. Stay metal, my friends.
All right. Huge. Uh-oh. What?
Did you see he sent a new one? I'm just saying. I'm throwing you into the bus a little bit.
Did not. I did not get that one.
It's probably the best one he's done yet. So I'm just throwing it out there. Next week we will have a new Beard Apothecary video. So John, don't murder us. If he even watches this, I don't even know. He's too busy doing his own podcast. I'm just saying. But
yeah, I didn't get that one. Sorry.
All right, so I guess.
All right, so question number one. Yep.
Question number one. What is the weirdest food you've ever eaten?
Oh, I mean, I've eaten some of those pickled herring heads. The ones they buried. It's fucking terrible. It's terrible.
Where did you eat those? Like, you bury them? Like, I'm a little confused.
Yeah, so they they ferment them underground. I was in the Netherlands and tried it, and it was. I know they do it in like Alaska too. It is fucking terrible. But I'm like one of those people where it's like, if you ask me to try a food item, I'm not going to be rude. I'll try it. Yeah, it was awful. It was terrible.
Wow. Okay. That's one of the weirdest ones I've heard. So yeah.
All right. So question number two, fill in the blank for me. Cigars is all about what?
Relaxation, man. I have a cigar in my hand literally all day so I don't hurt someone. It's a little outlet.
I agree with that. That's the reason I still chew nicotine gum, because at work I can't really smoke, and I quit smoking, then I quit chewing, and now I'm still doing nicotine gum so I don't kill people. So it is what I completely get you 100%. All right, so favorite musical band or artist? I feel like we touched on this at some point in the past, but I need something to put your replays to. So favorite musical band or artist?
Oh man, I have so many. I mean, but I'm a diehard Jamie Johnson fan. I mean, if you put a gun to my head, it's Jamie Johnson. There's a massive oil painting of him here in the office, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Awesome.
who did you get to do an oil painting of Jamie Johnson?
So there's a super, super dope local artist here. He's done a couple things for me. I have an Edgar Allan Poe here. Uh Ernesto 757 Ernesto. Look him up on social media. He is killer, dude. He does some awesome shit. So he did a Jamie Johnson painting for me, and then he did an Edgar Allan Poe for me here in the office.
If you ever think of
All
something
right.
crazy that you want done, man, let me know, because I get bored every once in a while and I do some paintings. So
Awesome,
let me know,
man.
man. Yeah,
Sure.
send me some ideas,
Absolutely.
and I'll throw something at you. I'll send it to you.
You've got to tell me about the Edgar Allan Poe. So, why?
Well, I'm from Baltimore, man. And the Raven.
Baltimore.
There it is.
There you go.
So it's right there.
Awesome.
Gotcha. All right. So, question number 4: what is your favorite guilty pleasure?
Oh, all of them. No, I mean,
Yes. Nice.
I don't know. That's a good one. I don't really think I have a guilty pleasure. I'm pretty confident in all of my vices. Uh, I don't know. I don't know. That's a good. I don't really have an answer. I don't really have a guilty
Like
pleasure.
2 o'clock in the morning, like ice cream, like refrigerator raids, or
No, not really. I mean, every once in a while, you can't beat a large Coke from McDonald's with like a large fry. Like if I'm in a weird spot and it's just been a shitty day, like I'll stop and just fucking eat in my truck and drink a
I,
Coke from McDonald's. Like, but I
that
don't I don't
is
feel
my.
guilty about it.
I will
I'm like,
say, that's my wife and I's favorite thing. It's chicken nuggets, small fry, Coke from McDonald's, sit in the parking
man,
lot and just eat it.
yeah. I mean, a large Coke from McDonald's, man, it's fucking all time, dude. Like,
Yeah.
If I had to pick one personally, it's probably McDonald's. It's probably the worst shit you could eat, but fuck, do I crave a freaking cheeseburger,
hits.
fries, and a Diet Coke, man. It's
yeah.
unbelievable.
I
It
don't really do
hits.
I don't do a lot of fast food, but like, sometimes it just like
Oh,
it gets you where you need to go.
absolutely. All right, so here's one I don't think I've ever asked before, and this always makes Charles nervous, but it's a pretty tame one. So it's kind of random, but what is your favorite place to smoke with friends? To smoke cigars with friends, like on a patio, a lounge, or other?
Other. We smoke a lot here in the
Wherever.
headquarters, yeah. Yeah, we smoke a lot of here we got a lounge here in the headquarters. Um and you never know who's gonna stop by here. You see Ed here sometimes. Like people just I guess because it's like so secluded. We got the windows are all blacked out. So like people just come in here and kind of disappear for a bit. Uh we spend a lot of time here. A lot of time. We'll come here, watch fights and watch football because we got TVs all over the place and just kind of get away. They'll get away.
Hey,
Awesome.
Mick,
So-
I know
so-
where we need to go visit.
I was just gonna ask. So since I just recently found out like an hour and a half ago that you're actually in Virginia. How
Yeah.
far are you from Fredericksburg?
Not that far.
My
Couple hours.
brother-in-law lives there, and I'm there like an hour. I'm there like at least once or twice a year. So an hour.
How far are
2
you
hours,
from
that's nothing, man.
Jamestown?
Right down the street. Jamestown's 15
I
minutes,
will
20
be.
minutes.
I am taking my daughter to go visit the Jamestown settlement because
nice.
she in about 2 or 3 weeks, she is studying the Jamestown settlement in school. So it's her fall break. So I am actually taking her up to Virginia to go visit that area to learn about Williamsburg and Jamestown.
Hit me up.
Hell yeah. All right. So question number 6. What is the one thing in your life you're most proud of?
That's easy, man. My kids.
Hell yeah.
People will always tell you, people that know me really well will tell you that before my daughter was born, I was dead inside, which is factually correct. And now that little girl literally runs my life. Like the big joke everyone loves to tell about fucking Lee Marsh at Stolen Throne is that he's going to a Taylor Swift concert with a 7-year-old little girl. Then they're 100% right. You know, I mean,
So you and John
raised two
Aldi
daughters,
are the same.
oh, don't say that. Oh God. No, I mean, you know, it just all those cliches are true, man. Like when you have kids, like the rest of the shit doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
I raised two daughters. One has some health issues. You never know it to meet her, but she's the greatest kid in the world. They're both great, man, and they both turned out to be amazing young adults. But man, it does change your life, and I wasn't always a perfect father, and I don't think any of us can say we were. But man, it changes your outlook on fucking everything, like fucking everything.
There's no such thing as being perfect, man. You do the best you can, and you know, like you just love them. That's how you don't fuck it up. You just love them.
Absolutely, that's a great answer, man. All right, man. So I broke this out for you. It's the first time in probably I think I did it like the first 7 or 8 episodes, and then I went away from it after Boofy, and then I brought it back for a few special people, and you're one of them. So is cereal a soup?
Oh, you asked me this. It's not a soup.
What was the Penelope episode one? I did ask it.
You did.
Yes,
You did.
yes, you did.
Fucked it up. I could not remember, and now, damn it. All right. Disregard. Just fucking move on to 8.
It's okay, man. We'll get through this. That's
All
two
right, so
fuck ups,
question-
though, Mick. That's 2 fuck ups.
One more and you're off. I mean, you're done. How
I'll see
dare
you
you?
guys later.
I'll see myself out.
All right, so question number 8. You've gone through everything from a new brand starting out to over the last couple of years having some crazy success. I mean, there are brands that would love to be able to work with the people that you worked with. What is the one thing that you would tell somebody who is starting out that they need to know as a new brand? You just need to do this. You need to keep your head here. What is that advice that you would give? Because there are so many freaking new brands that are coming up every day.
Yeah.
But nobody has any mentors behind them. They just have the love. They want to create something. So as somebody who's been through it, what would you tell them?
Be brutally honest with who you want to be. You know, you see, it kills me when you see these brands that like they come out and they shoot themselves in the foot because the first thing they say is like, oh, well, we're just like them, or we're just like this brand, or you know, if you like this cigar, you'll like our cigar. Be true to who you are. Be honest with who you are, and stay committed to your vision. Don't let other people dictate what you choose to do with your choice. You know, because at the end of the day, you have to live with it. You're the one that has to wake up every day and convince someone that this is the cigar they should buy in that moment. Right? And it's a lot easier when you believe in what you're doing.
Nice.
That last part's absolutely perfect, man. You got to believe in what you're doing, or why are you here? So
if you don't believe in it, why the fuck would I believe in it?
100%. All right, so I have a little bit of a complex now because I'm pretty sure I may have asked this last question as well.
Oh boy.
I'm going completely off script here. So here's the one that almost got us kicked off Instagram the first time.
Let's go.
Charles is shaking his head no. Would you rather? Charles is shaking his head already. Would you rather be jerked off by a silverback gorilla or jerk off a silverback gorilla?
I mean, I do the latter every day. I am a gorilla. It'd be nice if someone else did the work, you know.
Okay. That's a new way to look at it. Charles is up there shaking his head. I couldn't take a chance of asking the same question again because I know I've asked some of these in the past. So here we are. Let's go.
I am so.
It's consensual, bro. It's consensual.
As long as it's consensual, there's no issues. I mean, I'm good with it. Absolutely. Charles is just hanging out up there. I think the silence is appropriate. Question number 10.
All right. So, question number 10. And I will rein this one back. So, the final. Really? Am I cutting off now? So, question number
Nice.
10. What is the best piece of advice you have ever been given?
Oh man, that's a good one. I think I've answered this before, and it still holds true. My grandfather used to always say, "The funny thing about character is you can't pick and choose when you have it," and it's still a pretty damn good piece of advice.
That's probably one of my
Absolutely.
favorite.
Yeah, I mean it
I
hits you
love
where it
that.
needs. It
It's
puts you
facts.
in the right mindset.
All right, Lee. We've had you on here for 2 hours.
And 6 minutes,
We,
motherfuckers.
in 6 minutes. Yeah, I'm sorry. Hush. Calm down. Maintain low tones. Put yourself in your place. Calm down. So we've had you here for 2 hours and 6 minutes. We want to let I mean, you said it. You said it best. You've been out here for a while, but there's still people that do not know about Stolen Thrones. So, as a guy who absolutely loves technology and loves websites and loves to be in the technology field, I'm being facetious. So, let everybody know where they can find you.
Yeah, you can find us on all social medias at Stolen Throne Cigars. You can go to our website at stolenthronecigars.com. Find a super cool interactive retailer map if you're looking for a retailer close to you, or if you want one of your retailers to reach out to us and become a Stolen Throne account, have them go on there, hit it up, and we'll get at them.
Nice. By the way, you did catch on that, you love technology as somebody who has been in that field. So,
Yes,
just saying.
it's a pain in the ass.
Yeah. So, Mick, do you have any other questions for our brother over here?
No, man, we appreciate your time. I just want to personally say thanks for jumping on, man. We wanted to. I know you were on before with us with Penelope, and that was an awesome night. I agreed. It went an hour longer than this plus, but we wanted to give everybody a chance to get to know you. Just you and Stolen Thrones, man. And you're doing an amazing job. We love what you're putting out. I love that you keep everything to a point where you can keep control over what's actually coming out, and what it's going to always be top notch, man. And we appreciate what you're doing with that. You're not putting out 30 blends a year and crazy amount of Vitolas. Like you're keeping it to where we can kind of keep track of it, man. And it's always been bangers, man. Everything I've had. Now I'm going to go out and buy a Yorktown Fleet this week, man, because that's the only one out of your line that I have not had yet. So, and as always, man, anytime you want to promote something or push something out, please tag us in it, man. You have an open line here, with us for anything in the future. If you want to put out when you're ready for your next big adventure, man, but give us a hit, man. We'll put you out there.
Cheers, guys. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
I'm just going to close out and say that I enjoy everything that you talked about. So if you ever have anything that you want to talk about, feel free to contact us. Thanks so much for jumping on here. Thanks so much for being a part of this. And,
My pleasure, guys. And if you're ever up in our neck of the woods in Virginia, stop on by for a cigar, man.
hell yeah.
All
Thanks
right.
so much.
Cheers, guys.
See you, bud. Are you froze? I think he's froze. So I will say, like, as I always say, episode 47 is in the books. Huge thanks to Lee Marsh for jumping on here and being a part of the podcast. We absolutely loved everything that he did or he is doing. And thanks so much, bro.
Yeah, great lineup, man. He is I've never not enjoyed one of his cigars, man. It's a good journey. I love everything he's putting out. It's been good, man. I really do enjoy his brand.
Oh yeah, 100%. So I will give everybody a chance that we do have a couple of giveaways to give away. Mick, do you want to go ahead and talk about the big one?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it a little bit earlier. We're going to draw some names in order and top 5, and we'll make sure that they're doing all the things we ask them to do. But we're giving away 10 cigars and your choice of a T-shirt on our merch store, and then second place is 5 cigars and a custom sticker pack from the Real Smoke Podcast.
All right, so what you have to do is make sure that you like and do all the things that's on the, I guess, on the post.
Yeah, I posted it like 3 times. So
sorry.
Hopefully some people were on there. I think we got it.
Yeah. I hit the wrong button. Sorry. Oops. So I guess the first one on here is going to be Mitch.
Let's see if Mitch has all the stuff done. I'll write him down, and
so we're going to
we'll announce it.
So are you writing everything down for me?
I sure am. I got it.
Sure. Awesome. So what we're going to do is go ahead and draw about 5 names. So these 5 names are going to be for the 5K giveaway. So
is Mitch?
You don't have to say that.
Before we draw another name.
Mitch says, of course, he's on here.
Okay, Mitch will win if he's done all the cool things.
All right, so let's go ahead and draw. We're going to draw 5 names, and first through 5, we're going to go through. If the first person gets, all the qualifications done, they're going to win. So Let's go ahead and do 5 names really quick.
And the winner
Hologram. You are number 2. So Mick is writing that one down. Mick, tell me when to go again.
Spin the wheel. Oh,
all right.
If he's here. Is he here? Is Hologram here?
Wait. Is Hologram here? First, before we talk to Katie, is Hologram here? Hologram, put your name in there. We'll get to Katie.
Sure they're live.
Katie, if you're on here, go ahead and put your Yep, it was. I'm sorry. I fucked up on that one.
No, you're good. I wrote it down, but then we rolled. So it's all good.
So we'll give about 20 seconds or so to Hologram and Katie. So Hologram and Katie, let us know if you're on here. Both of you, put it in the comments that you're here.
Is Katie a new name, or am I just forgetting shit?
Yeah, Katie is brand new.
I like it. All right.
Katie Turk is 100% a new name.
That's awesome. Welcome aboard, Katie. Hologram, you got like a few seconds here, buddy.
So does Katie.
Nobody stuck with us for 2 hours. It was a good show. Like, what are we doing? I know we say this a lot, man, but it was a good show tonight. Really good show.
100%. So both winners do not get picked. So we're going to move on. So we're looking for 5 people to be in line for Katie Turk is drifting drams. I get
Okay.
that, but
Yep.
Chef Squatch, are you on here?
Man, did everybody bail?
What I have
At
a
like the
feeling this is
2-hour
going to
mark?
be a long. Oh,
What?
Chef is on here.
He's there.
Nope, Chef is on here. So go ahead and put
Chef?
him on for number 2.
Got it.
So, guys, we are taking the top 5 and we are going to go through and make sure that you have done everything for the 5K giveaway. And we will make sure that next week, we'll contact you. So we're looking for person number 3 as a backup. So here we go.
Devin.
So person number 3 is going to be Lil Debbie. Is Lil Debbie on here?
Hi, little Debbie. I miss you, buddy. We only live like 100 yards away now, but I never see you. So it's kind of my fault. I apologize. It's been a busy couple of weeks, man. Little Debbie. Is he here?
Debbie is here. He says
Hi,
he is
Debbie.
here in case nobody else gets that one. So he is going to be in position number 3. So we're going to do 2 more real quick.
I would say we could probably do one more because I know Mitch and Debbie are there. So I would say we could do one more and we're good.
One more. All right, so one more.
I'm pretty sure.
Cigars with Angel. How did I not feel that that was going to happen?
Yeah, we're good if he's here.
Angel, you're on here. You're going to be a backup if all of the other ones have not done what they need to. So, okay, he is on here. All right, so we're going to give away 2 gift cards from, you're a backup of the backup. So everybody is in line to win. So let's go ahead and, Mick, do you need to do the rules for the giveaway?
So it's September 25th. If you've already won a Cigar Vault gift card in the month of September, you are not eligible to win this one. I hope you have that list, Charles, because I do not have that list.
I do. So you have Get You Ends Up, Angela Thompson, Colin M, Cigars with Angel, Mashville, and Hot Box Cigars. You guys cannot win from Cigar Vault. And I think this is the last week, right?
It is. And then we roll into October.
All right. So let's go ahead and do the 2 from that one. Colby, that is a new one on here. So Colby, if you're on here, you have a chance to win $25 gift card from Cigar Vault. All you have to do is say you're here. Colby says he is here.
Awesome. What's up, Colby? We appreciate the support, man. Enjoy that. And
all right.
Look at
so
that
we do
September,
have one more
Real Smoke pack. You should probably grab one of them. Just saying.
Yeah. So Stogie Witch Cigar Club. I didn't see mine either, Nick. Ha ha ha. Shut up. Just saying.
The names are in there, I promise.
All right, one more time. Here we go. $25 gift card, Nashville. Mash Bill, sorry, brother. You have already won this month. You cannot win again. Apologize.
Spin it
I
again.
spin again. Here we go. Bump a bum. Already doing it. Chris, Cigar Maven. That sounds like a wrestling name. Coming to the ring right now is Chris, Cigar Maven.
Weighing in at
Chris,
210
the
pounds.
Cigar Maven. Are you on here? 210 pounds, representing somewhere in southern Georgia. He is Chris, the Cigar Maven.
Wearing the most
You're
beautiful
not on
banana
here?
hammock.
I
you've
just
ever
did
seen.
all that. Come on, Chris. I just did all that. You're not on here.
Chris, really? You went to
What
bed on us?
the F?
Chris
Suck a
from
banana.
Waterbury,
All right.
Connecticut.
So moving on.
All right. Fuck. All right, here we go.
Here we go. Next person. Rob the Cigar Czar, the one guy who buries more people in his backyard than the Chicago Mafia. So, Rob, are you on here? I just saw you on here. So,
Come on, Rob.
just saying.
I'm already writing it
Rob
down.
says
All
he
right.
is here drinking a beer, screwing a deer. What? Huh?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, something like that. But don't mess with Rob. He'll feed you the alligators in Louisiana. So, what's up, Rob?
Yeah, 100%. So we do have a group of 4 people that we are going to look into for the 5-pack or for the 5K giveaway. But we do have Colby and Rob who did win the Cigar Vault $25 gift card. So
Congratulations. Buy that September
congratulations.
5-pack. Let's go.
Please do. Rob here, he's eating crayons again. No shit. We already know that.
Rob, you know how much we love you, man. But man, you promote a lot of shit every day. I'm like, wow. And then I go down a rabbit hole, hitting a fucking website, looking at something that I don't even truly care about. But you promote a lot of shit, man. I'll give you credit. But we miss you, Rob. Okay, are you making the Middle Tennessee Herf? That's the question. You need to make that drive, man. Let's go. If you come here, you can ride with me out there. I'm just saying.
Hey, Mick,
Yes, sir.
do you have all of the information for Brooders pulled up?
I do.
All
We're on the
right.
phone.
So all of these prizes were 100% available to you from our brothers at Brooders. So, Mick, if you wouldn't mind reading that one.
So, do you have that nice graphic from last week or no?
I do.
You're gonna okay.
Right
it is.
there.
So on the left, you see a beautiful cutter that was made custom for us from Brooders. The wood inlay, the abalone inlay, they're amazingly made. If you have a lounge or you're just looking for something that can be passed down for generations, look at the Brooders cutters. Brooders cigar accessories. On the right, you will see their single cigar tubes that are great for storage. I've put these things through the test. These things are amazing. They're called indestructible. I would say it's pretty close. But Brooders is an American and veteran-owned company. The Heirloom is their flagship with their production line, a bespoke premium cutter with endless customization. Heirloom is a timeless piece of craftsmanship. As he's clicking it right there, that thing's beautiful. Me and Charles are kind of sharing custody on this cutter. It's a beautiful piece of art. It really is. It's built to last and passed down for generations. Find them at broodersco.com or visit us on Instagram at Brooders Cigar Accessories. And honestly, they have some great products. They're all made to last. They're all made to be passed down for generations. These guys truly care about what they're doing. I wouldn't cut off your eyelashes with that, man. It's pretty sharp. But it's are you smelling the tube? Where was that tube earlier? It got weird there for a minute. Yeah. But no, there's these guys know what they're doing, man. Reach out to them. Talk to them about a premium cutter that can be passed down for generations. It's really good products, man. And if you're a fidget guy, you cannot stop fucking with that thing. I'll be honest with you. The wife was so scared I was gonna cut my hand off with it. It's phenomenal. Yeah.
Wait, can you hear it?
I can.
Look at this.
How long till I should probably say on the air? We'll maybe wait for a week or two till I talk about it on the air that I thought I'd lost that cutter when I was drunk in Memphis and you took it home with you. So I'll just say that it may have happened.
May have happened. Wait. Do you see? Look at that.
I was like, these fucking guys are going to kill us because I may have lost this cutter. And Charles had it in his pocket. So it was good. It was really good. But that thing is beautiful, man. It's really well made. It might say Real Smoke on the side there with a microphone. The customization is endless for real. It's a beautiful cutter. So give those guys a look. Give them a follow. Give them a like. And reach out to them about something you can pass down to your kids, man. It's really good stuff.
100%. So let's see. We got through the prizes. We got through everything. Wait, there's one more thing we got to do.
Meanwhile, Memphis.
Oh, are we doing Meanwhile in Memphis?
We might be.
Meanwhile in Memphis, it's happening again. Meanwhile in Memphis, the sky turns wild. Stray gators and pools running free and wild. Some guys wearing mud boots with a suit on trial. Meanwhile in Memphis, let's stay here a while. Meanwhile in Memphis, it's happening again. Meanwhile in Memphis, the sky turns.
Just saying. I love
Absolutely.
that song.
I do too, man. I still can't believe it hasn't gone viral down here. Someday, maybe. Someday. Maybe we should put that out on shorts again because it seems to be working out pretty well. But we might go into that in a future show.
I will do that.
So I'm going to give you your choice of which. So I only have two stories tonight. I have man arrested with over 1,000 pills, guns, cash, said it wasn't him, or a guy was released from prison today, 30 minutes after he was convicted of first-degree murder and a life sentence. Which one do you want to go with?
The last one.
All right. So I actually, it's weird. It's a slow news week, I think. I'm not saying anything political, but I think because of the National Guard slowly rolling in here, things have fucking stopped here for a minute. So it's been a slow fucking news week. I've been searching every day, and I ain't got that shit. So
well, if you go back to like last week's, the person was like, "What? I'm gonna have to like get insurance for my car and quit smoking pot while I drive." I mean, exactly. I don't understand why I gotta do that.
Exactly. It happened.
I gotta put all my guns away and quit putting my coke out in the front seat, and I gotta go drive normal. I don't understand why I gotta do that.
One week, and everybody's like, "Fuck, I better shape up a little bit." Like it's crazy. But so
maybe you should act like a human.
Yeah, it's insane. It has not affected my life at all. But so
mine either.
Yeah. So this came across the news as I'm sitting here eating dinner tonight, and I'm like, I'm writing this shit down because it just happened today. A convicted killer at Shelby County, convicted of shooting 3 people downtown. He was in prison for the last 8 months. He was in Shelby County, 201 Poplar. 38 minutes after he was sentenced to life in prison and first-degree murder, the R&D department released him with a $2,500 bond for a petty theft. So, like, it didn't get passed down that he just got convicted of first-degree murder.
Right.
And the R&D department did not have that information. So, like, he was in front of, like, the hearing officer, and they said $2,500 bond to get out on petty theft. The dude's in the fucking wind. All bonds had been revoked, and but the paperwork did not make it to the R&D department in time. So he paid the $2,500, and the dude's fucking gone. They have state, local, county, and federal officials looking for him, and this dude is in the fucking wind. But it was 38 minutes after he was convicted to a life sentence for first-degree murder of 3 people downtown. Amazing. Like, I don't even know how you make that shit up.
I mean, I only have one thing to say about that.
Meanwhile in Memphis, it's happening again.
That's it.
It's crazy.
That's all I got.
Crazy.
That's all I got.
Meanwhile in Memphis, the sky turns wild.
This
Just
dude
saying.
is gone. This dude is gone. He's like, yep, I'm going to fucking Mexico.
Yeah,
All right,
he's already gone.
Yeah, there is no chance of finding this dude. We'll hear about it like 20 years later. It'll be on like some true crime story where they still can't find the guy. But yeah, he's gone. All right, so this one I put in here for 2 reasons, because I can't say the name. So this is kind of a let me help you pronounce that moment. And also it's a pretty interesting story. So
I can't wait.
Man was arrested with over 1,000 pills, guns, cash, MPDs.
Damn. That's my daddy.
Yeah. MPDs arrested a man with over 1,000 prescription pills, MPD says. MPD said officers arrested this 58-year-old man, a convicted felon on Thursday with allopurinol.
What was it?
Allopurinol, dexamphetamin, oxycodone.
What was that? One more time. Sorry, we missed it.
Dexamphetamin, oxycodone, methadone, hydrocodone, oxycontin, and carisoprodol. Police claim that this guy distributed the drugs throughout Memphis and said that he was carrying the pills on him at the time of the arrest. Officers found a handgun, a Glock switch, marijuana, cash connected with recent drug sales when they took Hamilton into custody. He claims that this absolutely was not his and somebody planted it in his bag. The police say the arrest removes dangerous mix of guns, drugs from our streets, making our community safer, MPD said in a social media post.
So
I don't think it was his, man. I really don't.
It was not his.
Somebody put 1,000 fucking pills in his bag.
What kind of pills was it?
It was definitely not dexamphetamin.
Yeah,
definitely not.
Definitely not.
No, definitely not.
Meanwhile in Memphis, it's happening again. Meanwhile in Memphis, the sky turns wild. Stray gators and pools running free and wild. Some guys wearing mud boots with a suit on trial. Meanwhile in Memphis, let's stay here a while.
Definitely not.
Good stuff, man.
All right. So we actually still have quite a few people watching. So next week, October 2nd. Oh, we're getting so close to the October date. I am so scared of that one. Anyways, October 2nd.
My favorite part.
Oh, hush. Shut your mouth. Shut your dirty whore mouth. Don't even talk to me like that. So, Oh, hush. Do not. When even my wife is laughing at me about this podcast, anytime that the podcast on the 23rd of October is brought up and my wife is laughing at me, I realize I am completely fudged. See, I'm not Mick. I said fudged.
So here's
See.
the cool part. Here's the cool part, because
Shut up.
I've talked to your wife quite a few times on this.
What?
And it's
What?
and
You did what to my wife?
Don't worry about it. It's fun. It was passive. So we so we've talked quite a few times on this, and the cool part is, like, even our fans and audience does not know who's coming on that show. So it's so fucking cool, man. It's gonna be a great night. It's gonna be an awesome night. I'm so excited. So excited.
Shut up. You suck. All right. Anyways, next week, October 2nd. Fuck. It's October 2nd. All right. So October 2nd, we have Mel Shaw of Bombay Cigars.
Oh yeah.
So that is, yeah, it's going to be a brand that was, wait. Wow. We just got called out.
Oh fuck.
Cigar
Did we
review.
skip it? Did we skip the
We
cigar review?
did. All right, really quickly, do the fastest cigar review that you can do.
Ah, damn. All right, pre-let experience. I gave it an 18 out of 20. Flavor enjoyment, 14 out of 15. Smoking characteristics. I gave it 26 out of 30. I had a little bit of a loose draw. I think it burnt well, but I had a little bit of a loose draw, which threw me off a little bit, but it was good. Smoke production final thoughts, 32 out of 35. I would definitely buy a box. The flavor profile was different but good. I loved how the middle third ramped up and the flavors and strength absolutely ramped up in the second third, and it carried through into the third. Why are you guys making me do this? I thought we were done. All right, so cool.
Holy
aroma,
shit. I forgot. I'm so sorry.
We fudged up. So aroma from the body, I got a natural tobacco sweetness, touch of cedar. Aroma from the foot, I got hay, light barnyard, light cedar. Taste from the cold draw, light cocoa. And this is the most specific taste from the cold draw I've ever gotten in my entire life. I got corn puff cereal.
What
Straight
the
from
hell?
like I'm telling you, I got corn puff cereal. I'm like, holy fuck, it's corn puffs. Natural tobacco sweetness. First third notes, earthy, roasted almonds, cocoa, black pepper, touch of caramel. Retro, I got a charred oak and raisin sweetness. Second third notes, I got earthy, roasted mixed nuts, dark chocolate, black pepper, a little bit of toffee, charred oak, raisins, and a touch of black pepper under retro. Final third notes, damp earth, a touch of leather. Again, the roasted mixed nuts, dark chocolate, black pepper, and retro. I got the charred oak and the raisins, and it ramped up just a little bit. It was good, man. It ramped up as it went. It was solid. Pre-let experience, 18 out of 20. Flavor enjoyment, 14 out of 15. Construction characteristics, 26 out of 30. Smoke production and final thoughts, 32 out of 35. I gave it a 90.
All right, so Mick gave it a 90, and before we do that, we need to say this. So that is our...
Tonight's cigar review is proudly sponsored by Cigar Army. The Cigar Army is a community brought together by their shared love of cigars, but bonded by something much deeper, their mission to give back to those in need. Through Operation Give Back, they honor the courage and dedication of our military and first responders, both active and retired. Their bravery and selflessness make the freedoms we enjoy possible, including this very moment to sit here, share a cigar, and connect with our Real Smoke audience. Every puff carries a story. Every draw is a tribute to their sacrifices. This isn't just about cigars, it's about gratitude, about compassion, and about giving back to the heroes who shaped our lives. Join them in the mission to make a difference, one cigar at a time. Check them out on Instagram at Cigar Army 3 or search Cigar Army on Facebook. Together, we can turn our passion into purpose.
All right, so let's see. Let's go back to. There we go. So, aroma off the body, sweet tobacco, slight molasses, slight chocolate, musty aroma off the foot, musty tobacco, barnyard, taste off the cold draw, nutty tobacco. On the light, oak, sweet tobacco, light, slight nutty. In the first third notes up front, floral, slight nutty. The retro is cedar nuts with a slight cinnamon spice. The finish is medium, leaving a earthy note up front. Draw is wide open and gives lots of smoke. Smoke is thick and creamy. Burn is okay, but no touch-ups. Second, third notes. Into the second, third, coffee, earth, nuts are what I get up front, with a retro bringing bready notes up front, followed by a nutty note and floral. Burn is great. Burn is great. Ash is slightly flaky. Draw is still open. Great thick smoke, medium plus strength. Final third is coffee, earth, and bready note. Retro is coffee, toast, earth, and hay. Burnt, ash, and smoke is still good. Same as the last. Third, medium strength in finish. Pre-light experience, 18 out of 20. Flavor enjoyment is 12 out of 15. Construction and characteristics, 27 out of 30. Smoke production, final thoughts, 31 out of 25. I give it an 88 out of 100. So Mick goes 90. I go 88. We give it a 89 for the Real Smoke podcast.
Solid score.
100%. So whoever called that out that we missed that, thank you so much. Mick gives it a 90. I give it an 88. We go right in the middle, go 89. So
it's pretty fucked up that I have everything written out how we go on the show. Like nothing scripted, but at the same time we know we have like a
So do I.
And I fucking missed it completely.
Yeah, so do I. Yeah, stupid.
And we're still going to be under 3 hours. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
We're killing.
So, what do we got going on next week?
So next week we got M. Bombay. I'm looking forward to having Mel on here. I don't know what to expect with that one. I know I've watched a few of the podcasts with him on, and interesting dude, man. It's going to be great.
I was about to say, there's like nothing online about him. Hardly anything. They
have a huge following, man. And I haven't smoked his cigars yet. He sent us some cigars, and I'm excited that it's the box press. I'm really excited to get into that cigar. I've heard so many great things about it. Jordan said good stuff about it. Rob said good stuff about it. So I'm super excited to get into that cigar.
All right. So next week, next week is a double, I guess, a double podcast night.
There is that. Yeah.
So Tuesday, Go ahead. Check us out.
Yeah, Tuesday we'll be doing the Cigar Dudes podcast. We'll be on there. We'll be streaming live on ours as well. But we'll be on with John, Ish, Randy, and quite a few other guests, apparently, because I just received a text a few minutes ago that has a bunch of people on it. And that's everybody that's going to be doing the AI challenge. So tune in for that if you can. Catch it on replay. Either way, we'll have it on our socials. And yeah, and then Mel on Thursday. So double week of real smoke. If you see what we're doing, it's going to be a good time.
Cool. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for jumping on here. We love that you take the time to hang out with us. So, Mick,
take time.
Do your thing.
Take time this week. Smoke a great cigar with someone you love. And we will see you guys twice next week. Much love.
Peace.
Peace.
The smoke is thick, the air is tight, cigars are lit, oh what a sight. Pour the whiskey, tequila too, this one's for Mick and Charles and you. Thank you for tuning in. The Real Smoke Podcast makes us all grin. You light us up, you keep us strong. Cheers to you, we raise the song. Conversations deep, the stories fly. Ashes fall, with spirits high. The gas is rolling, the penters flow. You've kept us burning, don't let it go. Thank you for tuning in. The Real Smoke Podcast makes us all grin. You light us up, you keep us strong. Cheers to you, we raise the song. From the puff of the flame to the end of the night, you're part of the glow, you're part of the light. Mick and Charles with a laugh and a grin. This flame burns bright 'cause you